Okay, just making sure. My neighbors, for some reason, have decided that they're gonna actually be really loud instead of extremely quiet now. So I was just making sure you guys couldn't hear the music.
Yeah, it's fine. Tabletop overrides it anyway. It's fine. Alrighty then. Let's get the show on the road.
Irish Chris, hello.
Hello. Irish Chris? What? No, of course not.
Stukov.
Stukov. Stukov is best. You will meet him one day.
Who's Stukot?
Yeah, wow. You wouldn't know. Anyway. So, welcome everybody to Crabby D&D and us schmucks. I am here with my players Infernal, Sudz, Simon and Harlan. Unfortunately Sam is not here, something has happened to him. We are going to assume the worst and that he is currently being dissected and turned into dog food. So, that is where he is right now. Yeah. So, let us begin. Last we left off, our players Elsyan, Queglod, Sasha, Bhold and Malcom made their way from the city of Adamanthia, heading towards the town of Oaksmith. They procured some griffins from Payne Magalo, the one in charge of Malcom. Making their way out of town, they activated these griffin figurines and rode the griffins that came out of them towards the town itself. In a matter of hours, they'd made their way there, speaking to a few people around in search for the Arsonist who had previously attacked the town. And we leave off after their little adventure of talking to a priest at random. So, you're all currently still in the tavern, or in the inn rather. You're all still sat down. I'll just remind you of your surroundings. Surroundings is a fairly barren tavern area at the moment by the looks of it. You're sat at one table near the entrance, relatively close to the corner, and the other group who you spoke to, the priestess and her two guards, are sat just over on the table next to you. Off into one of the far corners on the right-hand side. Imagine the inn as a T-shape. So off in the far right-hand corner there is a dwarven individual. He looks to be quite bruised and battered. He has some form of lumberjack attire on, checkered shirt. There's a large axe next to him and a few other smaller axes. And he's currently he's worked his way through what looks to be 2 tankards of some form of beverage, and he's currently working on a third. You can see in front of him, on the right-hand side, he has what looks to be some form of piece of wood, which he has started carving away at with a pocket knife. And over near the actual tavern, or the bar itself, you see a gnomish individual. She's sat there with what looks to be some form of gauntlet, and seems to be fiddling with it with some form of apparatus of hers, and casting some form of like small magic on it, from what you can tell. So, where would you like to begin? It is currently, I believe it was 4 PM when we left off last time.
Okay, so early afternoon.
Yeah, early afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Is there music?
Is there music? What, in the inn?
Yes.
No, not currently. Just the regular sounds of wind
I
outside.
start playing my drums.
Okay. You start playing your drums. Give me a check for that. I believe it is your... What did we say it was your thing? It should be in the character sheet. I believe it was charisma with proficiency because of your war drums.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and do that.
I rolled 18.
18 plus
It is +2.
+2? Okay. Okay, you play the drums fairly well in a rhythmic fashion. You're just sat there at the table. Tavern Keeper doesn't seem to mind too much. She was if I remember correctly, she was a halfling. Yeah, halfling individual who was serving drinks to those who came in, and the elvish servant who was going around and handing out drinks and food. You just play your drums. Seems to pick up the interest of the priestess and the dwarf from what you guys noticed. The dwarf seems to just be like looking up and seeing what all the commotion is about, and the priestess who previously spoke to you is obviously just like, oh, this must be something that they just do. Mm. And the tavern keeper or the innkeeper doesn't seem too worried about it.
I don't believe I ever asked before, Behold. Where did you learn to play the drums?
I listened to war song home.
So nobody actually taught you then?
No, I just listen to war song when we fight.
I see. Well, you play very well, considering you've had no
Thank you.
instruction. Right, at this point I'm going to take a look around the room a bit and have a closer look at the lumberjack.
Okay. You can see, just from this distance, you can see that the lumberjack just seems to be either he's on his break or finished work or something for the day. You can see that the bruises and the scratches on him seem to be from just from manual labor, or something has happened. And the axe looks fairly well worn. It's still got sawdust on it, and there's sawdust on him as well, suggesting that he's done work today with some form. And he just seems to be a little bit out of it, heading towards the tipsy stage.
Okay. Right, I'm going to turn back towards the rest of the party then. We're looking inside the forest, correct? That's where...
Yeah.
That's where our suspect is suspected to have been.
Yeah, we're looking for ruins, I believe.
Perhaps someone who knows their way about the place could be quite helpful.
Yeah, maybe that lumberjack over there might be helpful
just what
before
I
he
was
gets a
thinking.
little too far.
Yes. Yes, if we're planning to talk to him tonight, we'd best act quickly. It doesn't look like he'll be conscious for much longer.
Would you like to join me? I'm not really good at talking, so maybe I can get the conversation started, but...
Yes, perhaps we should go together. Sasha, perhaps you'd like to join us as well.
I already had one conversation with someone today. That seems too many for me.
Hmm.
But
I should
alright
understand.
then. Nope. You asked me, I guess I'm going to have to talk to someone. Even though I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat. Clarify, I've forgotten how to do Sasha's voice properly, and it's
That's good
taking me a
enough.
little bit to get used to it.
That's good enough.
There we go. Right.
Nah.
I'm suddenly much more able to do this. Let's go.
Okay. So you're heading over to the individual?
Behold, will you
Yes.
be joining us?
No, I'm keeping playing drums.
Yeah. Elsyan's
Well,
just going to...
do keep an eye on Elsyan. He seems to be a bit out of it.
Elsyan's gonna go rummage through his backpack and pull out the flute, and he is going to attempt to play it.
Oh no.
It is
Oh.
actually surprisingly in tune, and he seems to be getting the hang of it a bit more. Despite everything, you two form like a kind of like a weird duo of some form of deep bass or don't know how you describe it. Just deep drums mixed with some form of light. Light music, and think of it as like light and deep music, and the mix of it is surprisingly satisfying.
Like it's heavy bass, but there's a high melody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you two easily make way for each other into some form of strange mix of elven music and previous tunes mixed with the raging war music that you're used to. As you all head over to the other table, the dwarf sees you coming over, and he says, "What do you need?"
We
After you.
were coming to ask you a few questions about the forest. You look like you've worked in there a bit, and
I wonder what
Right.
gave that away. Leaning
I
on his
know.
axe.
I know. It's funny, isn't it? Sorry.
we were just wondering if you know of any ruins inside the woods.
The old,
or where they'd be located.
the old ruins of Fort Verdant? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, those sound about right.
Yeah, the old dwarven fortress just off the west of the forest, leading towards the coast. What
Oh,
about 'em?
forest makes sense. We were hoping you might be able to tell us their location. You see, we don't know the area very well, but we're looking for someone to guide us to the major landmarks.
All the lumberjacks know their way around the forests, but only in the little areas nearby. You're looking for going that deep, you're gonna need to find a hunter, or at the very least a ranger. If you're looking for those, you're gonna want to speak to him, pointing to the innkeeper.
Alright, thank you for the assistance.
No problem. But hey, you couldn't by chance just get me another drink, could you? As payment for the information.
Why don't you try some of this? I'm just gonna let him try my
Your special
my-
brew.
my special brew that I want to get some customer feedback. Right.
Alright, remind me
wait a
what's in it. You have the post-it note. Or you have the
yeah.
stuff. I believe I also have
I-
the post-it note, so it should be
believe
cinnamon,
also-
cloves, honey,
And apple.
and a little bit of apple, yes. Okay.
Apple.
Apple.
Yes. Okay. He takes a... He's like, what's this?
Well, it's a mead. Have a swig. I'm gonna pour some into his glass.
Thanks, I guess. Well,
I
bottoms up! And he just
just
Chug.
want to know what you think.
he chugs it all down. Doesn't even bother sipping it.
Right there.
Chugs it all down. Got a nice flavour to it. It's got I can taste, it's got some freshness to it, a little bit of sweetness, but it's got a nice bite to it.
Mhm.
A
Now,
little,
under most circumstances, what would you pay for that? Do you think?
well, it's good quality, I'll say that much. Maybe a little bit higher than average. For a tankard of that, maybe 2 gold versus 1.
I can work with that. Lovely. Thanks for your help.
No problems. By the way, what family do you belong to? I'm going to assume the Wandering Ones. Their name slips me.
I'm a Smashfist myself.
Smashfist. I thought they were more of a
Yeah.
remote type. They stayed in
Yeah.
their little section of the Empire.
There aren't meant. Well, they did. Let's say there's not too many of them around anymore.
Oh.
There was a dragon attack.
Oh. That is indeed a shame. How long ago was this?
I've forgotten the one I said. I think 10 years ago I said.
10 years ago was how long you'd been in training, so shortly. 10, 11 years.
10-ish years. About a decade.
Interesting. I never heard of them. Deceasing. Do you know, are you the last one, or are there more
As
of
far
you?
as I'm aware, everyone was in the... As far as I'm aware, everyone was in the brewery, and... Well... When I woke up from being knocked out by the explosion, I was in the basement, you see. There was nothing there. There was smoking ash. Nothing could have survived that.
Well, someone's still making the Smashfist brew.
Well, what?
Oh, it's being sold a lot around here, as if it's just regular price. If it was the last of its kind, then it would have been sold for a higher price, or at the very least, it would have dried up by now. It's been 10 years.
Maybe
Yes.
one of the sister families decided to take over brewing.
Maybe.
I doubt it's the same. It's the same quality as before.
It's almost exactly the same. I don't taste much difference. This stuff is new to me, that you've given me, but... Oh well. There's the name behind it.
Perhaps
Maybe.
someone with more experience with the brew would be able to tell if there was a difference.
You saying I'm not experienced enough with it?
No.
Or are you
just
referring
this-
to
I
the
was
brewing
referring more to
process,
that.
rather than the drinking?
the process.
Ah, nah, yeah, that you need somebody else. Drinking's all I know.
They like
Yes,
to
I was
manage to get
thinking-
that.
I was thinking maybe someone who had been involved in its production might have more insight into its authenticity.
I've got a lot of cousins. There's a chance one of them decided to keep the name going. I only as you know, I only just got back into society. I didn't even know it was still around.
Well, whoever's doing it, good on them. Good
Yes,
stuff.
Good on them. It'd be good to find out who it was. Give them thanks to keeping on the Smashfist name.
Regardless,
Sasha's just gonna walk. Just gonna like wave and just walk sadly over to the table. A
Yeah.
little bit just sad.
yeah, gives a nod. Thanks for the mead.
No
Welcome.
worries. Thank you for the
Welcome.
advice.
You're welcome.
Right.
He goes back to wallowing in his current drink.
I suppose Sasha will probably need some time. Malcolm, I suppose we ought to speak to this bartender then.
I agree. We should see what we can find out about a hunter.
Yeah. A hunter or a ranger.
Yeah.
There's such a big forest nearby, it shouldn't be too hard to come across one. Let's just hope there are some agreeable ones.
Hopefully.
Do you
I
walk
don't
over to
suppose
the
you've ever
innkeeper?
worked with... Yeah,
Ye-
sorry. Yeah.
Carry
I
on.
don't suppose you've ever worked with rangers before, have you?
Me, no. I've mostly worked with the Baroness, or when I'm not working with her, I'm usually working by myself.
Hmm.
Okay. So you head over to the innkeeper at the bar. She's currently, by the looks of it, she's going through some form of a book. And she just seems to be sat there and hasn't noticed you.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes. How can I help? Did you want some rooms?
We were...
I suppose we will need rooms for tonight, but more pressingly, we were looking to ask you about something.
Of course. What can I help you with?
We were hoping to, see if you know any hunters or rangers that are maybe around here or currently staying here.
Yes, we're looking for a guide to take us into the forest. We're looking for the ruins we were told were there.
Oh, the Fort Verdant ruins.
Yes, the old dwarven one.
Ah, there's not really much there. It's not too hard to get to. I'm sure I could find somebody for that. For a price, of course.
Of course.
But, yes, I could find someone quite easily for that sort of thing. And
Excellent. Wonderful to hear.
you're not the only one to ask, though.
Oh?
Yeah, and, you see her eyes trail behind you over your shoulder to where the priestess is currently sat.
I see. Did they say why they were looking for it?
They said they were looking for something, but there's nothing there anymore, so it's just a set of old ruins. From what I know, the entire place is overrun with spiders. Big ones too, not little ones. You're looking at ones that could eat you whole if you're not careful. Especially you and I.
Yes, that is a concern. Still, if we're not the only ones interested in the area, then that settles it. We'll have to go there.
Well, how soon do you need them? Because that group were planning to set out in the morning. I do like a good competition.
I suppose there is no sense in waiting around. If you can acquire us a guide.
I can acquire you a guide.
Early.
It will cost more if it is for today, but I'm sure I can acquire someone.
How much are we talking here?
30 gold pieces tomorrow, 45 today. Not too much for those who are particularly interested. They weren't willing to splash much of their money, so they took tomorrow. And of course, if you leave today, that cancels out the cost of needing a room. You'd be sleeping in the forest.
You make a good point.
But, as I said,
How soon could we head off?
an hour or two. I could probably get someone within that time. Maybe earlier. We'll have to see.
I'll glance over at Malcom, see what he's thinking.
Sounds reasonable. Would you like to split it, or...
I'll get the money out. Don't worry. You can all pay me back later, I'm sure.
Yeah, go leech from Bhold.
Cue like a mirthful chuckle from Sasha at the idea of paying someone back. Yeah. Oh, you're serious.
Don't worry. I'm sure Elsyan will make up the cost.
Elsyan's just sat there completely oblivious to the whole thing and playing the flute. And Bhold, you still going?
Yep, we're still making music.
Give me another roll. Let's see if you've changed tune. Give me a roll.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Yeah, you're still going strong with your one, but Elsyan tried to mix it up a bit and try and match your kind of your different music compared to what he's used to. And as a result, he's a bit off with the whole thing.
I think it's excellent.
Nice.
Right.
No, nothing.
Right. I'll have to go for dinner in a minute.
That's fine. So
Yeah,
you...
I'll grab 45, the 45 gold.
Okay.
I'm gonna...
Thank you kindly.
Oh, and do you sell the Smashfist brew?
We used to. Recently some of our shipments haven't gone through. The spiders have wreaked havoc in the forest.
I see.
We used to get it imported from out northwest side. From the docks off near the other city. Nearer to the coast. One of the smaller towns there. It has a fair-sized port, and we get it down from down south in the Empire.
Interesting. Well, very well then.
And if you're going into the forest, do you think you'd be hunting any spiders at all?
If we run across...
I'm sure any that come across our path will be taken out.
Okay. Just a thought.
These-
If you are going
These
to
would
be
be the
going
ones
into
that
the
are
forest-
interrupting your shipments.
Yes, if you are going into the forest and you do happen across the home or the nest of these spiders, or even if you just cull their numbers, if you can get me, I don't know, 10, maybe more spider kills, then I'm sure I could pay you back a little bit. Maybe I'll procure you some services around town. A lot of people pass through here.
You do seem to be well connected. Very well.
Yes.
I'll keep that in mind.
An inn sees a lot of faces, and some faces wish to go hidden.
That's understandable. Well, as soon as your guide is ready, let us know.
Of course. Just
Thank you
come
for your
back
help.
here whenever you're ready.
Will do. Right. I'm gonna head off. And also head off in.
Yep.
For real. Right.
Uh,
see you guys in a minute.
She takes the bag of gold, places it at her side, and goes about her business. You two head back to the table unless you want to talk to anybody else, Malcolm?
I don't want to talk to anybody else in the inn, but there is somebody else I want to talk to in the town.
Okay. You both head back to the table. Elsyan stops playing the flute and looks over at you both returning. So, what now? Well?
A little bit of a clarification here. Was it Elsyan that talked to me, talked with me in the
And again,
tavern keeper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. I believe we should go and talk to the Dragonborn in the tower while we wait for our guide.
well, sounds like a plan. Anybody else coming with? Looking over at Sasha and Bhold.
I guess.
Sure.
Come on, Queglod. Let's.
Queglod's gonna go with you, Bhold.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll go with them.
Okay.
So you all leave the inn area and you get into the outside. You see that there's a few more people now moving around. A lot of people seem to be going back to their daily life after the small commotion that was your arrival. And you see a lot of people are moving what looks to be firewood or lumber of some sorts. There are some carts that are loaded up with logs, and it seems to be quite the town of of wood and lumber, but you see a lot of the people are just they're quite well built. A lot of them are moving around, all sorts of things. One individual seems, an elderly man, seems to be travelling along with what looks to be an older horse, and in the cart there's some form of cargo with a blanket over the top of it. You see off in the distance the tower that you first saw when you came in, and you can hear the workings of a blacksmith off a little way, just outside the square.
Hmm.
So, what do you do?
Look. I guess we try and find the tower and then go to it.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything else, or are you all heading to the tower?
No, I'm just following.
Along.
Okay.
I'm in a sort of like, oh, my family are dead. I'm a little bit sad.
Yeah. You all begin making your way towards the general direction of the tower. After a short journey of walking, about 5 minutes or so, you reach what seems to be a rather tall tower from what you can see. The crowd seems to have thinned for the most part around this area. It's gotten a little bit quieter. You can see the tower is made up of, from what you can tell, there are 3 windows vertically, so looks to be 3 stories tall. It's in the base of it is stone. You can see there's like well-cut stone that goes around on this circular tower. And then going up from that, you can see that there are wood planks and wood beams and all sorts on the outside. You see that there are some carved glyphs and sigils into the side of it that give off some form of magical radiation that you can all sense. And there are a few arch windows which look to be have some form of glass paneling in, and the top of it seems to be some form of red clay tiles in a form of a cone shape that lips over the edge kind of like a hat. The door itself seems to be a slightly more richer colour of wood, more like mahogany. It's got a very fashionable design on it, and it's got looks to be some form of etching into it that's filled with a gold like magic substance that seems to be moving around on it and goes into like vines and leaf sort of patterns. And seems to be like a small porch that leads over the over the front of the building.
Well, that's fancy. Queglod. Well, wouldn't you say that's pretty fancy?
Indeed. Something where I personally wouldn't want to live, but we don't know what it looks like on the inside.
Elsyan, shut the fuck up. I was talking to Queglod.
That was Queglod.
Wait, that was Queglod? Wait, where's Simon? Oh, did Simon go and I didn't?
Yeah, Simon.
Yeah.
Simon had to go.
Okay, well.
Pay attention, Sasha.
Yes. I got a message as you were talking, so it was a brief moment when I was out. Oh, shit. Well, back in character.
Anyway.
Well, this looks very fancy. Any chance they'd be wanting to pay us for any jobs or something? No.
What do you mean?
All right, then.
What, just on the door or anything, or?
I don't know. Look, it's a fancy door. The people inside probably have money. Is there any reason we can think of that they would give, that we could, like, do something to get them to give us that money? Legally. Mostly.
I don't know. What do you
Wait,
think?
who's he trying to steal gold from?
I'm not trying to steal gold. I just maybe would not be opposed to being paid by rich people.
Well, I guess you just have to wait till we get inside and see what they have to say.
All right, let's go. Leading the charge because Sasha smells money.
Before we head in, do we want to take a quick break? Just give Simon a little bit more time
Yeah,
so he
sure.
doesn't miss too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so quick few minute break, then we'll be back and hopefully Simon will be around.
Yeah,
Alright,
she
so-
said we were waiting about
Yeah.
an hour before the ranger was ready, so...
Alright, so we're back. That was a quick break. Simon came back like almost immediately after we put it off, so we just had a quick break. So back
Should've
into
taken my
it.
time. Oh well.
No. And so you're all currently heading into it. Sasha's leading the charge. Sasha, as you open the door, as you touch the door handle and you push inwards, there is a cling-ling as the bell on the inside goes in, and a voice rings out. Who is it? Hello? Is anyone there? If it's you kids again, I'm gonna turn you into frogs.
No, not kids.
State your business. As you look in, as you've all made your way in now, Bhold, you have to duck a little bit to get in. Just a little bit, not too much. You see that there is that the tower itself, it doesn't have stories per se. It just continues going upwards. Continuing upwards, and you see that along the sides there are kind of shelves and boxes that seem to just be floating in midair, candles and lights all round the place, with strange spheres and objects just floating there with some form of blue or green energy emanating from them. And you see on the ground floor where you currently are that there's a desk there and some form of alchemy station off slightly behind it. And you hear a voice, and you hear the voice from up above turn around and say, "Well, who are you?" And you see this elderly dragonborn individual with some form of a long beard, some form of like a Fu Manchu mustache, and you see him step out onto one of these boxes, which then proceeds to float down to the ground, float down to you. "Well, who are you all then?"
Queglod, do you want to take this one?
"A dwarf, a halfling, a Goliath, a tiefling, and an elf. Strange band."
Yeah, we have
The
been told we're a
Travelers,
bit
as
of
I'm
a
sure you
size chart.
suspected.
"Well, so, what do you need? This is a magic shop?"
We were sent to talk to you by, Gen.
"Ah, so you're here for the shipment. Good, good. Haven't heard back from him in a while. That is why you're here. Good. Excellent." And he clicks it, he snaps his fingers, and from up above you see what looks to be some form of a cylindrical container float out from a socket in the wall and float down to him, and he says, "Here, this is again. You're heading straight back to the city, right?"
We do have a task to do real quick, and then we'll be heading right back.
"Right. Well, it might be best you take it on the way back then. You don't want to be carrying this thing around with you." And spins around on his heel and proceeds to make his way behind his desk and sits down in what seems to be a tall back armchair. And as he sits down in it, he proceeds to rise slightly and floats over to you, and you see that there's no kind of like base or bottom to it. It's just floating in midair. "So, do you need anything else, or just here for Gen?"
He wanted us to tell you that the wife and kids are doing well,
"Ah,
and
good.
say hi.
That's good to know. Well, if that's all, I have some things that I have to deal with."
I was wondering what type of magic you sell here.
"Ah, glad you asked. Well, let's see what I have here then. Let's see. I sell... well, what kind of things are you looking for? Are you looking for small trinkets, or are you looking for some other bits and pieces? Weapons, that sort of thing. I can do spells, I can do some forms of armor, I can sell potions, I got plenty of those. And all bits and pieces."
I don't know about the rest, but I'm a little bit interested in the trinkets and potions.
Okay. Are you looking for like lower level enchantments, or are you looking at like the top stuff?
For my budget, I guess I'll go with the lower.
Okay. Well, on my list of things that I have, I've got a series of spell scrolls for a few other spells. I have some oil of slipperiness, an interesting find. I have some rings and necklaces of basic enchantment. I have a few other detection spells and spell scrolls and that sort of thing. I have this, and floating up from behind the desk, what looks to be some form of a necklace with a onyx, with a I don't remember what it's called now. It's got 8 sides to it. It's like a diamond shape, but 3D. I don't remember what they're called now. It's a D8. There you go.
Yeah, the
Diamond shape.
Yes, Leahy Harlan. Yeah, a
And
D8
octahedron.
shape. I'll just pull out a D8.
Yes.
It's this thing here.
It's an octahedron.
Yes, that's the one. An octahedron shape of a onyx stone seems to be fairly reflective. That's set into some form of brass outline and some form of a basic brass chain. You can see it. There's some form of enchantment. This is a amulet of protection against detection. It's not the most catchy of names, but it's one of my own creations.
How much for it?
For this, I'd probably say 75 gold pieces. Didn't take me long to make. It only took me a couple of days. I didn't need many materials, so...
I'll take it.
Excellent. 75 gold pieces. And you now have a amulet of protection against detection. And this will give you resistance or knowledge of and resistance to detect against good and evil, detect magic, and dispel magic. As well as detect
Useful
person and detect object as well. I sell some other bits and pieces as well. I sell bags of holding, if you need any of those. You're the adventurous type by the looks of it, so I'm sure that wouldn't go amiss.
Bags.
How much is a bag of holding?
Bag of holding? Bags of holding are about 400 gold pieces.
Oh, 420. I don't think I need it. Right now, at least.
Okay.
It might be a useful investment in the future, but
Yeah.
I suppose for now.
For now, I still have about 500 pounds more to carry.
And would you say that you're risky individuals? Gambling folk?
I am, as long as there's a good reward in it.
Well, how about a bag of holding for 50 gold pieces?
What's the game?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh,
What's your persuasion?
Fuck, where the fuck is that? A 2.
No. Just for you, I'll tell you. It's a bag of monstrous holding.
monstrous holding.
It's effectively a bag of holding, but if you put your arm in, there's a 50-50 chance it'll eat you. Maybe 40-60, I don't know. I've never tried using it.
And this is something you made?
No! Well, kinda. I made a bag of holding, and then something got in, and something weird and living got inside of it, and it changed into this thing.
So you didn't make this on purpose, but that's nice to hear.
No, not on purpose. Although, I can replicate it, so I could make these, now that you say that. It could be an interesting and fun trick on some guards. Or on those kids! That's it. Oh, you've given me a great idea.
Well, I don't mean to hamper your creativity, but I can't say that I would advise inventing devices to maim children.
It wouldn't maim them. It would kill them. Which, yes,
Yeah,
is
that's
worse.
better.
But then again, turning them into frogs isn't much better. Actually, no, turning them into frogs is much better. I've just had a great idea. Anyway.
Can I just say, I think I found my new best friend.
Good to know. If you need to shop back here in the future, I have plenty of things. And, after he, and after he's taken the gold from you for the amulet, he throws it up in the air, and you just see it keep going, and now that you're looking up, you can't see the top of the tower. It just continues going for as long as you can see, and the gold just continues floating up and up and up.
This is quite an interesting tower.
Isn't it? It's bigger on the inside.
I like it.
Well, taller.
Question: does it travel through? No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. To clarify, I was going to ask: does it travel through space and time?
Strangely enough, no. A lot of people ask me that question, especially the kids these days.
Very strange. Very strange. I don't know what that strange voice that appeared out of nowhere was on about.
Anyway.
What? You shouldn't die.
Well, if you've got things to do, come back here and I'll give you the shipment to take again when you're ready.
Yes, well, this has been a most illuminating encounter. If we'll stop back to pick up the shipment, and if we have any need of your services, we'll come back here.
Good to know. Oh, and for future reference, if you need to call upon me, my name is Suhaba. I've been a resident of this place for quite a while, and I have no plan on moving anytime soon.
Suhaba.
Yes, indeed. I mainly work in enchanting goods, so if you want a particular enchantment, I can probably work on that. My speciality is transportation, though. So if you want anything for going from one place to the next, I'm sure I could acquire you something like that. I mean, you've seen all this floating stuff? And, just gesturing to the general atmosphere of the floating boxes and chairs just in the area.
How big an area could you transport stuff from?
How big an area? You mean like a pile of gold, that sort of thing? Or do you mean like...
What is your rough limit for like a decent chunk of movement?
Well... Let's see.
Like maybe just the whole floaty thing you've got going on with your tower.
Floaty? Well, I can make things like, flying rugs, flying chairs. Some strange old lady requested a flying broom at one point. I can give you flying horses. That's something that... Rocking horses, not real horses.
Ah, right.
Other than that, I can get you some general floating things. Any household objects, pots and pans,
Question. Could you make a house wherein the things inside it float?
I can, but that would probably take me about 5 years, and it would cost you a few million gold pieces. Or at least 100,000.
Aha.
That sort of magic is...
I'll get back to you once I've got my brewery up and running.
Yes. Floating...
And I
Actually,
suppose
that's
we'll
not
need
a
to
bad
split the
idea. That's not a bad idea. If you do end up doing that,
Floating what?
if you make a floating brewery... Yes, if you make a floating brewery, instead I'll have some shares instead of... Provided you build it in a good location. Floating bar, tavern, that sort of thing. That could be quite interesting.
Why am I now suddenly picturing a mead waterfall?
Making Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
But alcohol!
But alcohol. Oh my goodness. Well, these are all great ideas, but once you've got the money and or the place and or the situation, I'll get involved. Is there anything else you needed? I got some other interesting items.
What would you offer to someone who's going to try and murder some spiders?
Ah, you're going to murder spiders? Well, spiders aren't a particular friend of fire.
Oh.
So... I mean, I have this, and he rummages around a little bit behind the counter, pulling out what seems to be some form of ruby sphere. and says, "I see you have 2 individuals using staves and stuff. This can be used inside a magical implement. It's a firestone crystal. Place this inside your weapon or magical implement of choice, and it'll give you some improvements to fire magic and other fire-influenced abilities."
Ooh, sounds interesting.
In short, it'll allow you to convert any damage you deal into fire damage.
Ooh.
Will it work on my axe?
You don't have a magical implement, so no. You could try eating it, though.
Oh.
I can't say what that'll do to you, but who knows.
How much for...
Wait, can I make flaming music?
You can certainly try.
Hottest mixtape coming out. Literally hottest.
If you're looking to buy this, you know what? I'll do a trade with you. I have some business that needs to be taken care of inside the forest. You've probably heard a lot of people say this, but there are spiders in the forest, and as you already know, they are becoming troublesome to our little town. The lumberjacks are finding it particularly difficult to go out and get their next chosen tree that they need to cut down for lumber, and caravans are finding it difficult to get through the forest now. And unfortunately, the guardians of the forest aren't doing squat about it. So, if you're willing to hunt down a bunch of spiders, I'm sure I could give this to you.
I'll... Sure.
Excellent.
But how many
A good
spiders
trade.
are we looking for?
How many spiders?
Yeah. Or do you just the thing taken out?
Take as many as you can out. If you find the nest of the beasts, you can bring back whatever the head of the leader thing is. I'm sure I can pay you a little bit extra on the side. Just hunt as many as you can. Bring back evidence of killing however many you want, and we're done. Just as long as you bring back some. There are things I need to harvest from the forest as well, so it doesn't just benefit the local people.
Okay, well,
I see
It
no
seems like our
downside
goals
here,
co-
really.
It seems our goals coincide then.
Excellent. And he tosses you the crystal, which make me a dexterity save, Malcom. He tosses you the sphere, and you go to catch it quite easily. Not too slippery. It seems to just be quite a little bit heavy, and you place it in the end of your staff.
yeah.
As you go to place it into your staff, it seems too big, but then it shrinks down to size just enough to be squeezed into the staff, where it proceeds to grow a little bit, and your staff, the head of your staff, seems to grow outwards a little bit as the vines from your staff wrap around it to kind of create this encapsulating sort of sense to it. You now have a flame sphere crystal. Write that down in your inventory. It weighs 4 pounds, and it allows you to convert any damage you deal with spells into fire damage. So,
Oh my.
hopefully that helps. Oh, and if you're looking for potions and stuff, alchemy is also something I'm relatively good with. Alchemy and travel, something I'm great with.
Question:
Well-
could this be someone who could teach me more about using my alchemical stuff?
You can ask.
Actually, that's... Oh, alchemy. I've got a little bit of experience with alchemy myself. Any chance I could, you could, I don't know, maybe help me learn, teach me a little bit?
I've got some simple alchemy books. I've also got some recipes that I'm willing to hand off if you've got the money. Things for like potions of healing and so on.
I've got some money.
Well, the basic books for alchemy that generally include basic tonics of daily life, helping with minor injuries and sprains, that sort of thing. The book itself, it would usually sell for around about 50 gold, but seeing as you're doing me a favor and you're also working for Gen, I'll probably take it down to 40. And if you're looking for recipes, then I'm going to say that's about 150 per, especially for these minor ones. I still need to make money off.
I said alchemy. I'm just trying. I've got herbalism, but I'm trying to learn alchemy.
Ah, I see. Well, learning alchemy, the book will help.
Yes, the book will help. Well, once we get back from the killing, I will be happy to grab it.
Excellent. Well, good luck to you all.
And, good fortune to you in all that you do.
Thanks. There aren't that many people who come around here with wanting magic, that sort of thing. Anybody else want to do anything before you leave, or assuming you're leaving?
Not particularly. I've blown most of my money at the moment, so...
Bhold, are you intrigued with any of the floating items around you?
No, I have no clue what the fuck is happening.
Okay.
It's too much for my brain.
It's too much magic for you. Okay. So you're all leaving now then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be on our way out.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your help.
No
We'll
worries.
return once we finish our business.
Well, good seeing you. And you see that he stands on top of the box that he'd previously come down on, and it floats back up to where he was, and he pulls out a bunch of like scrolls and stuff from his robe and starts to slot them into some form of rack on the side of the shelves. Kind of like a wine rack in like a bunch of X patterns. And as you leave, the town seems to be quietening down a bit. Time seems to have gone a little bit weird from entering into there, and about half an hour has passed where you may have spent maybe 5-10 minutes as far as you were aware in there. So quite a lot of time has passed while you're in there. So it's edging towards 5 o'clock, maybe into the early hours of. So what do you want to do?
I suppose soon we'll be able to get in contact with that hunter.
Yes.
Well,
Let's get to the hunter and do things.
yes, they might be ready now. Probably worth going to see. Well,
So, these spiders, how big did they say they were?
Well, bigger than you.
Oh, joy. Well, let's get on with it then. Goliath, could you walk in front of me, please? Thank you.
Sasha is literally just gonna hide behind Goliath the entire time.
Okay.
he has a name, you know.
Bhold.
Girl?
Could you walk in front of me for a little bit?
Okay.
Thank you.
I could have just walked behind him, but no, I wanted him to walk in front of me.
There is a difference. I will not be a coward.
Yes. I'm not behind him, he's in front of me.
Okay. So, what's your next plan of action?
I guess to go see if our guide is ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can get more drinks if we need to wait a little longer.
Oh, we could check out that other tavern and see if there's anyone who can help us there. God, wouldn't it be terrible if it turns out that there was a ranger or a hunter there who would have happily gone with us for like so much less money, but because we ordered it from a second party, it was far more expensive, and we just wasted a load of money. That would be hilarious.
That's a very abstract and oddly specific scenario, Sasha.
Yes, it is. Cough.
Cough, cough. So, where are you headed then?
Well, we
I'm
can
just
probably get more done wandering around the city than just sitting in the tavern. However, we should be back as soon as possible if we want to leave early.
Ooh, that's a thought. What if some of us go and get the the hunter, and some of us go into the other tavern to try and find more out in case there's anyone else who can help us. That way, we're not wasting time by going all the way to the tavern and then all the way over, in case it's a waste.
Very well then. I'll head back to the first tavern where we're expecting a meeting.
Yes, I'll be with Bhold wherever he is.
Very well. I'll send Baldric over when we're ready to leave.
Okie doke.
So, Simon, where are you headed? You're heading to...
I'll head to the first tavern.
You're heading to the inn.
Yeah, the inn.
Malcolm, where are you headed?
I'm gonna head to the inn as well.
Okay. Sasha and Bhold, you were going to the second tavern?
Yes,
Okay.
going to the second tavern, and we're just gonna see who's there.
Elsyan's going to go to the first tavern, just because it's... or the inn, because it's quieter. So, as you all travel along, heading towards the main centre of the square, you've got the inn that you just entered into, and then there's the tavern. You can hear now. You see what seems to be some form of like a group of individuals, lumberjacks, carrying their axes covered in sawdust and that sort of thing, currently coming into the or going into the tavern itself. The inn seems to be dead. There seems to be like maybe one or two people going in, but the main tavern seems to be very boisterous. There seems to be a lot of people in there, from what you can tell.
Wow, this place is a lot more busy than the other place. Isn't that right, my monolithic friend?
Oh, yeah. Do I see anyone strong?
Yes, you do. You see plenty of lumberjacks who are about average, that sort of thing. And over in the corner, you see that there are individuals playing games of cards and dice, individuals throwing darts. There seems to be a lot of people just sat around with drinks. Dwarves and humans seem to be the most common in this general area. You see a few half-elves scattered around, and there are a few other individuals, half-orcs and orcs, also very muscly from, obviously seems to be lumberjacks. But one particular individual catches your eye, a half-orc with what looks to be some form of like a half-broken-off tusk. He has like metal bands around the tusk and some form of plaited hair that seems to go down and over his shoulders. He wears what looks to be some form of metallic plating of sorts, and he has a large warhammer to his right side, and he seems to be sat around with a group of other individuals, one elf and a human. The elf in question has their hood up and some form of like a fake mask on, To their side, they have a rapier, and sat on the seat next to them is a bow, with their quiver leaning against the chair. And the human has some form of a shield and some weird gnarled staff, kind of twisted and grey in coloration, with some form of like a kind of like a five-toed claw almost on the top, shaped out of the wood itself. And they seem to all be sat around, but the half-orc in question catches your attention, and seems to, from this distance, seems to be one of the strongest in the tavern, as far as you can tell.
Interesting.
Remember,
So why did we come here?
we came here to ask around about the people that are here, see if there's anyone who can give us information as to whether they'd seen the Arsonist, and anyone who knows how to best to navigate the forest or deal with the many-legged fuckers inside it.
Okay, I think that's your job.
Yes. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to start arm wrestling people. Start off small and then work your way up to the big guy. Can you do this
Okay, I
for
go
me?
straight to the half-orc.
You just head straight to the half-orc.
All right then. Okay.
So you enter the inn, you see the half-orc, and you just start ploughing your way through the crowd of people, squeezing past a few tables. Excuse me, don't mind me. Excuse me, and
Ooh.
shimmying past quite a few. Some dwarves in particular yell out when you go past, but see your huge physique and war paint, and they're like, "Oh, never mind," and they go back to drinking away their sorrows. And you get to the corner where the half-orc is, and you see the elvish individual with the hood up currently. You notice this immediately, Sasha. The moment Bhold entered the tavern and started making way towards the half-orc, she had her hand on her rapier and reached over for her bow. And it's currently just sat there watching Behold's every move as he just plows through the crowd.
I'm gonna follow Behold because, well, if I don't, I feel like either I'm gonna miss something funny or something bad's gonna happen, or both.
Okay. So you follow on behind Behold, making your way through, and you get to the table where Behold is currently standing there staring at the half-orc. What do you want?
You tell him.
My friend here... I actually don't know what you want, honestly. I mean, I said you probably want to have an arm wrestle, but I don't know what you want. Give us a minute here. What
You
do
want
you
an arm wrestle?
That's what my friend told me.
I said maybe he wants to arm wrestle. Which is a lie, but it's a believable lie. I definitely told him explicitly to arm wrestle people.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah.
Strange.
Well, apparently, my friend would like to test his strength, and you look like the strongest person here. Quite obviously looking at you like, who?
He looks Behold up and down. Looks over at his wizard friend, who at this point just turns his head to look at you and says, "Look, we're not looking for any trouble. If you want to arm wrestle, go ahead and arm wrestle, but we don't particularly care."
Okay, but Behold, if you want to arm wrestle, you can arm wrestle. He likes testing his strength. I think it's a Goliath. I don't. What's that, Scott? You do you.
The human stands up, pulls his chair back, and the half-orc stands up, goes down onto one knee, and puts his elbow on the table in a arm wrestling position, waiting for you to lock hands with him.
I go and sit down.
Okay. Sit down on the chair, and you.
I like grab hands. Yeah.
All right, you lock hands, and a human turns and goes, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Roll. Gonna roll, Infernal?
I'm pressing R.
Are you lagging?
Oh.
Oh,
Level 1 ping is
Oh.
monstrous on my screen, so...
yeah.
Yeah.
What? Hello?
Yeah, ping's
Oh.
being
It
weird.
just
Hold on.
keeps rolling.
Yeah,
It just
it
keeps
keeps rolling. Hold on. We'll do this in a sec once everyone's... Alright, tell me once you can
Okay.
see you're rolling it. Or moving it.
Okay, I think I'm fine now.
Okay, give it a
Okay.
roll. Alright, 18! As you begin to arm wrestle, you can see his muscle tenses up, your muscle tenses up, and you're ever so slightly pushing him back towards his side. Make another strength check. 12. You don't see much progress whatsoever on this one. He seems to be holding his own in current position and current strength with you. The half-orc in question seems to be very strong and well-trained with this sort of thing. Give me another strength check.
Can I rage?
You want to rage?
Can I rage?
Okay. So you begin raging, and your eyes like squint, and you just grin at this, and you squeeze tighter and start to do this. Give me a check with advantage because you're raging.
Oh,
With advantage,
well, that doesn't
you got a
matter.
20, but it doesn't matter. You you grab as you do this, it puts him off guard, and you just whack, slamming his hand down onto the back of the table. There's a thud as the back of his hand hits the table. He releases his grip, and you release yours. That's some fine strength. And there's a lot of individuals who are currently watching. A few of them cheer, and you see a few individuals passing coin between one another.
This is how he makes friends. I'm saying this to like the person on the table who is most nearest to me, probably the human.
Yeah, the human who's currently standing next to you. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how he makes friends. And it's how I make money. Ahem. Ladies and gentlemen, who wants to put up a fight against everybody's favorite Goliath? Behold!
Give me a
Place your
roll.
bets here.
Give me a roll.
No, why does this turn into fun?
This is how I make my money. It's basically making money off of your ability. Oh. That was almost very scary.
Some individuals look over. A lot of them seem to ignore you. One dwarf says, "Why should we pay you for bets when we could just bet between our friends?"
Alright, better idea here. How about someone tell me who's got the betting table and I'll put down money?
At which point, some of the individuals over the other side just look over and just shake their heads like,
Ah,
this just doesn't seem worth it. And
worth a try. Well, you know how it is. When you're on the road, you've got, well, you try what you can. Didn't really expect much. Still, thank you for entertaining my friend. He likes to test his strength, and, well, I think it reminds him of home.
fair enough. Either way, we'd like to get back to having our drinks, if you don't
yes,
mind.
Sorry.
And
Do you mind, though, if I ask, what are you doing in town? You seem like very well capable fellows.
He looks over at the ranger in question, who's currently got the hood up and mask on, and shakes her head slowly, currently glaring at you.
Do I notice this?
Yeah, you notice this. She is glaring at you, and she shakes her head, at which point Human turns around and goes, I'm afraid that's not my place to say.
Fair enough. If I've done something to offend, I do apologize.
No, of course not. You did what you want, but we'd like to get back to our peace and quiet.
Yes. Bye! Right, that didn't go as I was planned. Behold, follow me!
I'm going up to the bar.
Okay. At which point we'll move over to Queglod and Malcom and Elsyan. So, you enter into the inn. Seems to be a few more individuals in there since you last went in. Seems to be, looks to be a blacksmith of sorts, or orcish female, wearing some form of a large leather apron, with hair that's kind of scrunched up into a bun at the back, but seems to be all like kind of frazzled or whatever, and parts of her hair look burnt, and there are black patches all over her arms and shoulders. And she's currently just sat down at the head of the bar, or currently holding what looks to be a tankard. The dwarvish fellow who's off in the corner is no longer there. Seems to have disappeared off somewhere. And the priestess and her 2 guards are also not there at the moment. And you see in the corner, the gnome has moved in, and there seem to be 2 or 3 other gnomes with them now. Other than that, there are a few other locals just in the general area who are just sat down. Seems to be a group of individuals who are sat at the table you were previously at, and next to them seems to be a few older individuals. They look to be old friends, and they're throwing dice and that sort of thing.
All right. Well then. Well, it looks like people are starting to finish work for the day. Getting on to 5, so I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Before we go and talk to the bartender, I'm going to have a look at the gnome quickly. I'm not going to go over to them.
Okay.
But
the
yeah,
female gnome.
do
Do you just want details from what you can see?
I'm looking at the gnome who was there when we were first there. See if they're still working on what they were working on.
Yeah. So she seems to have with her large spectacles. She seems to be holding she has the gauntlet on her hand by the looks of it, and as she holds it like that and just clenches her fingers in and out into a fist just to show it's kind of like its mobility and so on. She touches the back of it and draws some form of like a circle or something on it, and the entire thing like lights up, and all the gnomes that are with her just kind of, their eyes go wide and go, ooh, that sort of thing, and pulls out some form of a scroll, wraps it around the gauntlet. The scroll burns up, and lifting her palm up, a small fire seems to appear just above it, which quickly burns away. And one of her friends looks over, and who seems to be mostly enthralled in this, doesn't notice you, currently watching her do this.
Interesting. Some sort of artificer, maybe. Well.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Me now. If you were talking before, then
Yeah.
we couldn't.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, my sound cut out for a bit. Can you
Okay.
guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We
Yes.
can hear you now.
Cool. I can hear you guys now.
So,
Good.
The innkeeper, who's currently seems to be serving a few drinks, currently talking to the orcish individual who's currently sat at the bar, looks over and gives you a wave, kind of like beckons you over.
Right. Leaving the gnomes alone for now, I'm going to head over to her.
Okay.
The innkeeper.
You head over, and and she seems to be fairly busy with what it is, and with the time that it is, handing out drinks and stuff. The servants moving around and taking necessary food and drinks to individuals, and collecting coats and so on, and that sort of thing, general hospitality. So you've returned. Good, good. I have your ranger ready. Your ranger in question is just outside the town. She'll be waiting, not too far off. You can't miss her. Or she won't miss you anyway. I've told her, who you are.
She knows who to expect then.
Yes, yes.
That's good.
And, I've given her a cut of the pay, so, she's, so she shouldn't be asking anything from you. And she can fight, but she's not too good at it, so do keep that in mind.
That's fine.
And she'll lead you to the fort, and then, depending on what you want to do then, you can pay her extra and she can lead you back, or you can make your own way back.
I see. Very well. If she's ready to head off now, then I guess we better get going.
Yes. Her name's Kimia. She's just outside the town next to one of the larger trees.
All right, Kimia.
That was out of character, to clarify.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Good to know. We'll go and find her immediately then.
Excellent. Well, have a safe trip, and if you need rooms when you get back, I'm sure I can help out with that. And if you can bring evidence of the spiders you've killed as well, just to help along with that sort of thing.
Of course. Yes, no, I remember. We had an arrangement with that.
Yes.
Well, hopefully we'll be seeing you very shortly.
Excellent. It's about... I don't know the exact duration of it, but I believe it's about a day's travel. Including a rest. From this time, you'll arrive there about... If you walk all night, you'll probably arrive there about 5 in the morning. But if you sleep during the night, you'll probably arrive around about... Maybe about the same time today. Around about 5-ish in the afternoon. Maybe a little bit before.
I suspect we'll be making camp at some point.
Yes.
It depends... It depends on how active these spiders are.
Yes, yes, I can't help on that front, but there's a fair few spiders out there, so do be careful.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be setting watch if we do decide to stop. Well, regardless, thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
If we need any more assistance, we'll come straight to you.
Excellent. Safe trip. And she pulls up and she waves you off, and one of the servants who was wandering around, just walking over to get your coat, sees you leaving and turns around and hands a menu to one of the nearby tables and goes back to what they were doing.
Very
So-
well, we'll head off. And I'll, as we're heading, we'll head straight to the, head straight to where Kimia is then. And I'll send Felipe to the other bar, the other tavern.
Yep.
Basically tell him when he gets there to just crow loudly so that
Yeah.
Sasha and Bhold know what they're looking for.
As
Behold should recognise it even if Sasha's busy.
Yeah, as the so as you're making your way out of town towards the closest part of the forest, you see a hooded individual currently sat down, legs crossed, with a bow at their side, and seeming to have two antlers coming out of the top of the hood itself, and some form of a snout, scaled individual. And you send Felipe back, and Felipe flies to the other tavern. Bhold and Sasha, just after you finish this, and just as you're heading towards the the tavern keeper, there's a caw, 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 and someone takes a swipe at the bird with a book that they're holding. What's Felipe's AC?
Damn it, let me get that up.
I believe it's like, it's like 12 or something?
It's, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I'll let you
It's
figure
in
that
the
out.
player handbook.
Yeah. So as you're
Yeah, never mind.
yeah, so as you're going around, Behold, you hear the cawing, and same with you, Sasha. You see
Well,
Felipe fly
I
in.
went
He's about to be swiped at.
I obviously go and I use my thaumaturgy to shout loudly, "Hey, don't hurt that bird!"
Okay.
Yeah, AC 12.
Yeah. And due to the distraction from Sasha, he misses with the book, and Felipe flies over and perches on a nearby dwarf head, who then tries to swipe off Felipe, who hops around onto the table and
over here, Felipe. Over here on my arm.
And Felipe just jumps up and flies to your arm, and quite a few dwarves and other individuals are looking at you and scowling.
Yes, I know. He's not mine. I have to deal with this just as much as you. God. All right, come on, Behold. We're going. Say goodbye to your new friends.
Apparently not.
Say goodbye like a good Behold.
Bye.
There we go. Right, off we go.
Okay.
You start making your way out of the tavern, and you can see off in the distance. You can see that you can see Queglod walking off in some direction, and Felipe takes off in that general direction.
Right. Double time, Behold. Double time. We're going to do the fast running now.
Okay, I start
Oh.
running as fast as I can.
Yes,
What are
over
your
to the-
speeds?
I'm pretty sure mine's 5.
Think mine is 2?
What?
No,
What?
in feet, not
Oh,
initiative.
30 feet,
Oh.
30 feet.
Yeah, so 25.
Yeah. So, Behold, you're just like sprinting ahead, thump, 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 just charging after Felipe, and slowly but surely you're being left
Sure,
behind,
yeah.
Sasha.
Oh.
Eventually, you see Queglod and Malcom and Elsyan, who are currently standing around, with this new individual who's now standing up. Well, I guess you're the ones I'm guiding. And you can see now a cyan-coloured, scaled individual. You recognise this individual as a Slitharian, a lizard folk, and they have a pale underbelly from what you can tell just from the neck and so on. They have some form of like a dark cape that goes behind them, and a black and brown hood and general attire about them, with the 2 large antler horns going over the back. And she leans down, picks up her bow, and looks at you all and goes, "Well, if you're all here and ready to go," and just incoming out of nowhere is Behold, just sprinting in, who comes to a halt next to all of you, and Sasha bringing up the rear and coming in a few seconds later.
Well, I mean, that's the 5 of us.
Well,
Did you achieve much at the tavern?
Okay, I'm good.
Behold, did Sasha look after you well? And did you look after Sasha?
Yup,
It's good.
I'm pretty good.
Yep.
Well,
We didn't really find much. I think I found a group of impressive but shady folk.
I arm wrestled, I'm happy.
well, Perhaps we'll run into them again at some point. If so, it would be good that you already know something about them.
Hmm.
Well,
The
regardless-
ranger in particular seemed to, well, not be fond of me.
Hmm.
I reckon she's a dwarf racist. That's what I'm going
Well,
with. Typical tall people. Not you, Bhold, you're lovely.
Okay.
I doubt
get
there'll
me,
be much
don't-
trouble.
You get me, don't you, Queglod?
I suppose I understand something of what you mean, yeah. Well, I doubt there'll be much trouble, but just in case, I'll have Felipe keep an eye open. I'll, just command Felipe that he needs to look out for any rangers following us
Okay.
while we're on the road.
So Felipe will be keeping an eye out for anybody who's trying to follow you.
Yeah.
And you so you're just there and ready to go. So, shall we begin?
I suppose with nothing else to wait for.
Excellent. Let's go. And she turns around and starts on a good pace into the forest. We want to reach the clearing by nightfall. Make sure that we don't get caught out. The spiders catch us off guard. We're not going to be in a good situation. Let's move.
Yeah. I'm not very fast at walking, so I'm going to climb up on Behold's back.
Okay. Behold, I'm going to have you do an athletics check with advantage, because you're used to this sort of thing. This is just to keep up with everybody with Queglod. Yeah, you're perfectly fine. You don't need to roll the second one. It was a 20. So, so Queglod climbs onto your shoulder, and you're perfectly fine. You keep pace with everybody, and you proceed to head out into the forest. And over a short period of time, you are quite a way into the forest now. You hit the bustling of the town has gone behind you. You can see the faintest glow of light over the top of the trees from the small town. But otherwise, the way ahead of you seems to be some form of dirt path, something that's well trodden, probably by the local lumberjacks and something like that, but not anything that would be used for commercial use for things like horses and carts, that sort of thing. It's not wide enough for that sort of thing. And you travel through the tree, you travel in between the trees and so on. A few roots seem to have grown out and over the top of the surface soil. The area around you is mostly lush with bushes and other exotic flowers. Occasionally you hear some birds flying off in the distance. You aren't proceeding stealthily. It doesn't seem to be very necessary. And at this point, 3 hours have passed, the sun has gone down, and it is very dark now. Who here doesn't have dark vision?
I think
do.
I don't.
Yeah,
I-
it's Bhold.
I'm just making
I
sure,
think
because I'm
Halfling
fairly
has
certain,
vision.
Behold, you have dark vision. It should be in your features
Yeah.
on the right-hand side.
I
I'm going to quickly
I
check
don't see
Elsyan.
dark vision.
Do you not
No,
have
because
it?
remember he can't. He was in the sewers. He couldn't.
Oh, yes, he couldn't see.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
Yeah.
I think I have...
I don't see any kind of vision in him, so I
Okay.
guess I don't.
Elsyan has dark vision. Yeah, if you can't see anything, then you don't. Simon, did you...
Sasha does have dark vision.
Simon,
Sasha can see.
you don't have dark vision.
Not natively, but I get dark
Oh,
vision.
you
I've
get
been
dark
Felipe
vision from
perched. Yeah.
Felipe, yeah.
Whenever he's perched, I get dark vision.
Which he currently is, so you do have dark
Yeah.
vision.
He,
So-
he is by default.
Yeah.
So,
And Sasha, did you have it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so it's
So,
Elsyan. Elsyan has it, so it is currently just Behold, who can't
Yeah, it's
see.
just-
Given that I can see fine and I'm sitting on his shoulder, can I try and like guide him a bit?
Yeah, you've probably done this quite a few times before, so it's something that you're used to.
Yeah, we've been traveling around a while.
Yeah, you
Right.
Yeah, so you guide Behold, make sure he keeps with the rest of the party, and
I'm going to
make your
use
way
my
through.
eyes to try and I'm going to change the appearance of my eyes using thaumaturgy to make them glow as brightly as possible.
Okay. Give me a roll for success or effectiveness.
Just don't blind yourself, Harlan.
Oh, you've said it now, Simon. Get ready for that one.
It's got a 1 in
Oh.
it.
It was one away from the top, which somehow is worse.
Yeah.
2
So,
away from the bottom.
You create your as you cast basic thaumaturgy on your eyes. There's a faint glow that emanates from them. It's not enough to illuminate it enough so that Behold can see, because he doesn't have dim light vision. But it does help all those with dark vision, so they're able to see a little bit better. So previously, where you have dark vision, you when you look out, everything's in black and white. But when in dim light, you can see things in color. So now you can tell there's like a faint hue of color just because of this. Think of it kind of like a red light.
Right.
So there are faint hues of color, but nothing
And
spectacular.
more importantly, Behold will be able to know where I am at all times. so
Provided
he
you're
can
facing
protect
him,
me.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Protect me. Yes.
As you make your way through the forest, Kimiar turns and says, "We're almost at the clearing, so if you need to stop, catch your breath, or anything like that, we can. Did you want to stop for the night, or did you want to keep on going through the night?"
I assume it's getting quite close to midnight at this point.
At this point, it would be around about... you're getting towards 9:30ish. The sun's gone down. It's pitch black at the moment for the most part, other than the occasional moon and stars. There are a few clouds out. Doesn't look like any threats of rain. And there's a light breeze in the air. But other than that, it is getting late. But it's not too late that it would get to midnight.
Well, I wouldn't mind a short rest at least. If we
I
do end up encountering anything in those ruins, we'll want to be prepared and well rested.
say we travel for a few more hours and then we make camp.
That way we've not wasted too much of the night, but we've also not lost out on sleep.
Sound fair?
I suppose if we make camp now, we'll be getting up fairly early in the morning.
Oh, also true. So true. Yes. Rest now. Go in the morning. That way we'll get further because we'll wake up earlier, and it'll be lighter, so we'll be able to travel less cautiously. So we'll go faster.
Would you say the clearing would be the best place to rest?
Yes, for this local area. If you wanted to travel further, there is another area we could stay. But I don't know its current status compared to the spider infestation. We'd only be able to travel for maybe another half an hour at most if we wanted to get here. And that would lead us to the clearing.
Well, if the clearing up ahead is safe, I'd say I'd say it's best to just go there.
The clearing is I wouldn't call it safe. I would call it the easiest to defend. The clearing itself is mostly wide open, and the spiders themselves like to hunt from the trees. If we sleep in the centre and we set up some basic rudimentary defences, such as string and bells, around the perimeter, we should hear anything coming.
Fair enough.
Well,
That makes the most
anything
sense.
without a brain, that is. And obviously some of us can keep watch if necessary.
I can keep watch.
Oh, Elsyan, you don't need to sleep as much because you're a fucking elf.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, they
I know
can
it-
trance for about 4 hours
Yeah.
or so.
I'm just going to quickly check. It should be
And
in...
that counts about 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Trance. Sleep is replaced with meditate, where you're in a semi-conscious state and only have to meditate for 4 hours to get a full 8-hour rest as if you were human. Okay. Yes, I can stay up longer. I'd rather not, but I can if
Well,
necessary.
Think of it like this. You'll be proving that you're better than everyone else.
I
can
hate
keep
to admit
watch.
it, but yes.
Ah,
Okay.
well,
You make it to the clearing, and in the clearing you can see that there are some light tracks in the area, things like deer and so on, a few rabbits and such. The clearing itself is a large patch of basic grass. It's in a eerily perfect circle. The trees around the area seem to form some form of like basic barricade and wall with the roots digging into the ground itself. You can see that there are patches where there are old fallen trees and large amounts of fungi and moss. And inside the clearing you can see that it's basically all grass except for a single rock that points in a diagonal motion, kind of like Pride Rock in Lion King.
hmm So this eerily perfect circle, how eerily perfect?
To the point where it doesn't look natural.
Hmm. This place always this circular?
Yes, this is one of the previous locations where they used to keep old Druid circles.
Ah, right. That makes sense. It was a little disturbing. You know, the whole perfect circle.
Yes. Yeah, nature
like-
has its wonders, but something like this is usually out of the ordinary.
Well, I say we set up camp now and get to bed as quickly as possible. The sooner we wake up in the morning, the sooner we get going, the more we travel.
Okay. You begin to make camp. Doesn't take you more than 5 minutes or so. Now, the only person I need to worry about this is Sasha. Are you sleeping in your armor? Yes or no?
Oh, definitely. We need to... It's going to
Okay.
be uncomfortable for me, but we need to
I
move.
need you to make a constitution check for me then, please.
Okie doke.
Hmm.
And are you going to be keeping watch? Like, who's keeping watch this night? Elsyan will keep watch for 4 hours because he can keep watch throughout the entire thing in a semi-conscious state, but he'll keep he'll keep watch throughout the
Alert,
entire thing
alert.
for the most part, but he won't be alert as a up person.
I
what
can
it-
keep
it-
watch.
Maybe we should split it into little bits with Elsyan staying on in his half state for all of it.
Yeah, he'll stay on for all of it. He'll stay on for the full 8 hours for the most part.
Mm-hmm. But like for the 4 hours where he's not awake, the rest of us there should be at least one of us around.
Yeah. Recall that Bhold can't see in the dark.
Yeah, so
I can see perfectly fine.
I'll take
Give me a deception
now.
check, Behold. Prove to them that you can. Nope.
No.
Okay, I can't see shit. Help! Help! Where am I?
Yeah. Okay. So I will do my Constitution save.
Yep. So yeah, Kimia says that she'll
Wait,
take
that
2
save
hours.
or just the Constitution roll?
Constitution save.
Oh, a save. Oh, that's even
So
better.
what does Kimia say?
Kimia says she'll take 2 hours.
Yeah, that is a 23.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're fine. Even though you're in your heavy armor and it's a little bit uncomfortable, you managed to find a patch of a little bit of soft but dry dirt, and it seems to be spongy enough to keep you at least a little bit comfortable.
Just like my hovel back in the hovel.
So who else was taking watch? Were you taking a watch, Sasha?
I'll take a watch. Yeah.
So Kimia takes 2, Elsyan takes all 8 in his semi-meditative trance. So that
I'll
means there's
be
another
happy
6
with-
hours to fill if people want to.
I will happily fill 2 because we only need 6 hours for a full long rest, right?
8.
Oh, 8.
Oh wait, no, you'd need 6 for the full time, but you're going to be staying up for 8 hours because people need 6 hours sleep each.
Yeah. So I'll do 2 hours.
Yeah.
Someone else will do 2 hours, and then someone else will do 2 hours. Right?
Yeah. So Queglod and Malcom, are you both okay to do 2 hours
Yeah,
each?
we can do Yep, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
So Behold, you get
Confirmed.
your full night's sleep. So if anybody is missing hit points, restore them, and if anybody has anything else that needs restoring, please do so. Okay, so who's taking first watch? Do you want Kimmy to take first watch, or?
I can take first watch.
Okay, roll me a perception check.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
Your during your shift, you don't see anything.
Luckily, Elsyan is also there.
Completely eventful.
We said that.
Completely eventless. Yeah. He's not going to be allowed because he's only semi-conscious. He doesn't get to look around. He only gets to, okay, if something happens within the camp, I'm first up.
So he's only semi-conscious for the first.
He's semi-conscious for the entire
first.
8 thing. So that means
I
that
thought he was doing awake for
I thought it was
4
only-
and then semi-conscious.
I thought it was
for
only
4.
4 hours of meditation.
Yes,
And
but
then
he's
just
going...
awake for the rest of the time.
Yes, but he's going to spend the entire 8 in a semi-conscious state, because that way he can cover all bases. Because with Meditate, he'll be able to go into his meditative state and stay in it for 4 hours, being in a semi-conscious
Yeah.
state. But he can be a little bit more alert if he uses the entire... if he kind of half and halves it, so he spends 8 hours in that meditative state in exchange for being a little bit more alert if anything happens.
Okay.
All right.
So it means he can't be affected by surprise attacks.
Right.
So who would be on the next watch?
I'll take the next watch then.
So we'll say you slept at 10, you went to sleep at 10, or so you made camp and went to sleep at 10. So it's currently midnight. So you're on the next watch. Give me a perception check. You have advantage due to... oh no, you have a bonus due to
I
Felipe.
have a bonus due to Felipe being on. Let me...
It's a
hold on,
+3, isn't it? Because you gain his perception bonus?
It is...
I really need to have the UA stuff up for this.
Oh, Raven doesn't... Felipe doesn't sleep either.
Oh,
So he'll always
okay.
be awake.
In which case he'll always be awake
He'll be,
doing
yeah,
his
he'll just
perception
be
checks.
assisting whoever's...
Yeah, so he's effectively a better Sam at this point. So Elsyan, as much as he was, oh, I'm better, I can stay up, he didn't account for the fact that Felipe is up for the entire thing as well.
Well, we just let him assume... We just let him believe he's better, just to make him happy. I add my charisma modifier.
Okay. So,
The wisdom, perception, and insight.
yeah, so give me a roll.
No, it's just perception and passive perception.
Okay. What does that total to?
It's 13 plus my perception is 1, plus charisma is 3, so 17 total.
As you're sat there in the clearing, you've passed it off from, or you've been passed on from Malcolm's watch, and you're looking around, and you notice that some of the trees in the local area seem to be shifting, not swaying in the wind, but it seems different, almost like they've moved.
Right. Very slowly, without like making any sudden movements, I'm gonna move over to Elsyan and like tap him gently.
Okay. What is it, Queglod?
Look over there, in the tree. There's something shifting.
What's his perception? Perception is 4. Yes, I can see that. And he squints and looks a bit closer, and seems to be some form of a figure, almost humanoid. And you, now that he's pointed it out, you can make it out as well.
What about your powers? Can you tell what it's thinking? Or what its intentions are?
I have no idea if you can do that.
It'd be like a really
I don't know his character, and I don't think he can do that till like level 2 or something.
No, I didn't think so, but it was. I didn't think in character Queglod would be particularly sure. Either.
No, he can't.
Right.
No, that's not something I can do.
No sign of any spiders either, but I think we should wake the others.
I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't seem to be attacking at all. Could Felipe go and investigate it?
We can do that, yes. Right, I'm gonna have Felipe like cautiously flutter over to it.
Okay.
And sort of land on the ground nearby. Not on the trees, because that's a terrible idea.
Okay. So Felipe flies over silently as he can, hops onto the ground with a little hop. Looking up and looking through Felipe's eyes, because you can do that because it is within range.
Yep.
You see what now looks to be some form of a humanoid figure, currently clothed in leaves, holding what looks to be some form of a bow made of some form of wood. Kind of like vines and stuff, like an actual living piece of wood. And currently looks down at Felipe and crouches down, and you can see this individual is female and has a long mat of, with the dark vision you can't tell the colour of it, but a long mat of what look like vines and stuff. And looks at Felipe, tilting her head to the right slightly. And then looking about and looks over at where you are and gives a slight nod and then hops back, and she disappears into the tree.
Into the tree as in...
Into the actual tree, yes.
Right.
Do you recall Felipe? Or are you going to... What are you going to do with Felipe at this point?
I'm going to have him fly in like a quick circle of the clearing, just to see if he can spot where this ranger has disappeared off to. This figure has disappeared off.
Yeah.
Metagaming.
Give me a perception check with Felipe. I believe he gets a +3 to his perception.
I believe so.
Okay. That's
stats. There's just so much of it. I can't write it all in my character sheet.
No, that's fine.
Sentinel Raven.
You said it was at the bottom of the...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's also in 2 different places.
Okay. Go past these.
Stim is plus.
What is he?
Yeah,
A cow? Or is he a cow? Is he a crow or a raven?
He's a raven. Yeah, it's perception +3.
Yeah. So perception +3. So that goes to a That's a 15 then. Flying up into the sky and looking down, Felipe can see that there's, or you can see through Felipe, you can see that there are a series of trees for the most part, which seem to be moving around on their own. Like the tops of them seem to be shifting. Slowly, but progressively moving around. You now start seeing why it might be called the Wandering Forest. And you can see in a fair ways over, you can see that there's a individual currently perched in a tree, currently looking up at Felipe. And you recognize the individual, and it is the individual who you just saw disappear.
Okay, what's this individual looking at? Are they looking at Felipe or...?
They're looking at Felipe, just observing Felipe, who's currently flying around in a circle. They're currently perched on top of one of the trees.
Okay then. I'm gonna have Felipe land on a branch nearby. Tree, but
Yeah, Felipe flies down, lands on a branch nearby, and you can see in the local area, you can see the clearing where you are, and you can just see the trees around you.
yeah, he's not making a noise just yet. Just looking at the individual and making it clear that he knows that they're there.
Yeah. Nothing seems to happen. A few minutes pass. Elsyan looks over and says, "Well,
There's someone up in the trees. Someone with some sort of magical power.
do you think we should worry about them?
They
I mean, they
look as
haven't
if
attacked
attacking
Felipe.
just- Yeah.
And are they aware of you?
Can't tell. I'm sure they know Felipe is ours, but I can't imagine they know that I'm controlling him. If they don't know that his magical nature, they probably just assume he's a raven.
I can stay up a little bit longer for this, but I won't be able to help in the last... Or I'll have to meditate solely during the last section if you want me to stay up and help keep watch a bit more.
That's alright. I'll keep track of this for as long as I can. And... who took the first rest? It was
Malcom.
Malcom.
Malcom. Perhaps we should have Kimia take the next rest. She'll probably know what to do about this.
Okay then. I'll stay up and
Yes.
keep watch. You get to rest. I'll wake up Kimia and let her know.
Very well then.
He wakes up. Kimia, both of them are going to do perception checks.
Cool.
For the remainder of that section, neither of them see anything else.
When I went to bed, I'm just going to have Felipe fly back into the middle of the campsite.
Yeah. So Felipe is currently flown back to the middle and is currently perched on top of the rock. And apparently just hopping around and watching and so on, and eventually flies back to your shoulder and kind of sits on your staff, which is next to you.
Yeah, I'll prop it up while I'm sleeping so that he can just sit there.
Yeah. There 2 hours pass. It's getting to be around about 2 in the morning at this, or wait, it's getting towards 4 in the morning at this point, and Kimia goes over and shakes on Sasha's shoulder. Nothing to report. All good. You get to sleep, or you're on watch now. I'll get to sleep. And
All right, that seems
goes
about
back to
right.
sleep. And Elsyan at this point has gone back into his meditative stance.
Tum 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 tum. Wait, so no one's awake other than me.
Yes, but you, as far as you're aware, Elsyan is awake with you, effectively.
Right.
Give me a perception check.
If I talk, if I talk to him, will it wake him up?
We'd have to see.
Well,
Depends on
I'm
if you're going to do loud
Time
talking or stealth talking.
Time to watch things.
Give me a perception check. Okay.
That is with a plus. Where is it? 3.
Okay. Throughout the night, or throughout your the last hours of the shift, you're looking around and something catches your eye. What looks to be 3 sets, or 3 rows of red eyes currently glaring at you from a nearby bush. And you notice it, and Felipe at this point is currently looking over and poised to caw.
Elsyan. Okay, I'm gonna use my thaumaturgy to make the sound of me going, Elsyan, wake up, to right by Elsyan, but not to spread the
Yeah.
sound too far.
Yeah, so kind of like long range whispering in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. Elsyan wakes up at this and looks over and goes, "What is it?"
Over there. Just see the eyes.
Perception check. He also sees them and goes, "You saw something earlier. It was a female figure, but it was humanoid. I'm wondering whether it's the same."
You look like a ranger.
Hmm?
She looked like a ranger with a hood.
No, not Kimiar.
No, a different one.
Oh, no. No, the individual was wearing some form of, like, robe made of leaves and plant matter.
Hmm. Right. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try and talk to the thing. I want you to rouse at least one of the others. If it's possible to talk to it, I can try and talk it and try and find out. I'll try and find out what's going on.
Okay. So you move over
Hello
a bit.
there.
How far are you going to move over? The clearing itself,
Oh,
I'd say, is
I am
about
not moving over. I'm thaumaturging the shit out of.
Oh, okay, so you're going to thaumaturgy range.
I'm not going up to that thing. I'm not
Okay.
a fucking moron.
Okay. Okay.
Hello there. Yes, I'm the dwarf over there. I'm talking to via magic. Who are you? What are you? Why are you here?
Give me a perception check. Okay.
Well, yeah.
As you say this, you look at it and it seems to just disappear, but for some reason you just follow it and you can see it. It's moving at a very quick pace, and it seems to climb up one of the nearby trees, and at that moment you hear something, like something snap behind. You spin around to see a giant spider currently next to and looming over Kimiar. I'd like you and Elsyan to roll initiative.
It's never good to roll off of a 20.
Okay.
Oh god.
Ooh,
Music change,
nice.
boys.
Elsyan was prepared.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my
Malcom, Simon, and yeah, Malcom, Queglod, and Bhold. You can roll initiative. I'll add you to the combat once you're woken up. Okay, so
Cool, I
Kimiar rolled a 7.
Felipe can wake me up as well.
Yeah, Felipe is able to wake you up.
Yeah.
So
I'm really bad at
Remind
initiative.
me where initiative is.
I write it down and then I tell you.
Okay.
So Elsyan.
Oh no, I mean the initiative.
Oh, it's underneath. You have class, race,
yeah.
level underneath that, with next to your AC, which is purple.
Oh,
On the
-1.
core page.
Yeah, I'm at 10. I always forget that.
Nah, I'm on 6.
Elsyan's going.
5.
Elsyan's going
Okay,
first.
basically, I turn around, I see this, I spend like a full 5 seconds going, attack!
Right. And I don't know what system you're using, but I think I'm supposed to roll separately for Felipe.
We'll just have Felipe go on your turn. So Felipe
Sure.
will wake you up on your turn.
Cool.
Alright, this is the page I need, I think. Yep, this is the page I need for my giant spider. Alright, so let's have this combat set out. So, we have Sasha over here. We have... Let me get Kimiar over here real quick. Alright, we've got Kimiar. Kimiar, who's currently sleeping over here. We have Elsyan, who is currently waking up Bhold. We have Elsyan, who was sleeping near the middle of the camp, and then Malcom, who was sleeping nearby. And have, so far, one giant spider currently looming over Kimiar. Like that. In terms of vegetation and stuff around the area, That is your rough clearing area. That's not
Look
necessarily...
out! It's a Black Widow! Scarlett Johansson suddenly appears.
Alright.
Sorry.
So,
sorry.
alright, so, I need to roll for these guys. Oh, dang it, never mind. Elsyan does not go first. And, yeah, okay. Okay.
Rip spider.
No, rip us.
No, rip. I mean rip. I meant rip Kimiar.
Yeah, ripped by a spider.
Oh, wait.
So you were
a little
close.
chunk.
Actually, who has higher dexterity? I need to know this now. They have the same dexterity, and they both rolled nat 20s. Alright, so... Alright, I'm gonna roll for both of
They
them.
go at exactly the same time.
I'm gonna roll for both of them. They will be going at exactly the same time. This is just for who I go
Well,
first.
that's yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sam goes first in his initiative order.
Melt
Okay.
his fucking brain off.
Then we have Kimiar. Got that, I think. Yeah. 20 to 15. No one?
What?
Hmm?
What?
20 to
What?
15 initiative.
No.
I got.
Yes, Sudz.
I
Probably.
I got 16.
Is that, what's your initiative added onto that? Is it 0 or?
0.
Okay, so 16.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll obviously Elsyan, but you know.
Alright,
You're-
15,
you're on top.
15 to 10.
Hello, number 10.
Okay. Okay. 10 to 5.
6.
5.
And you're 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, no. No, that isn't that.
What?
Alright, so beginning off the initiative, Elsyan, who is currently awake, is going to... Okay, from a party perspective, seeing as he's not here, do you think Elsyan would attack or wake up Bhold?
I feel like if he thought he
I-
could melt its brain, he would like.
yeah, I feel like Elsyan...
arrogant-
Yeah, arrogance, definitely. I could
Okay.
probably just try and... Like, it's only an insect, after all.
Yeah. If this
Just
doesn't
try
work,
Or he would melt my
instantly going
brain
to be
to
like,
wake up.
"Behold, kill it!"
Yeah. Okay. Bhold, for the purposes of this fight, you only have one rage point, don't you, at level 1?
Well, didn't I just rest?
It counts at the end of your rest, everything gets restored.
Yeah, I only have one.
So you'd only have one and you used it during the arm wrestle. So, for the purposes of this, you don't
Well,
have
haven't you already
rage.
been asleep for 6 hours?
I don't have it.
Oh yeah, you have been asleep for 6 hours.
Yeah.
So,
One, you didn't take a rest.
so, yeah, you didn't take a rest, so yeah, your rage would be back.
Okay, so I have 2 rages.
Wait, you have 2?
Well, I have 1 left, because I have 2.
Oh, okay, in which case, yeah, you have 2 at the moment, and you'll use 1 if you use it during this fight.
Remember, you won't get it back until the end of tomorrow, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so Elsyan, I have no idea how to play Elsyan. Alright, let's look at his disciplines, what can he do? Psychic Assault,
Who
that looks
knows?
like fun. Yeah, he can spend a max of 2
I
psi
don't think
points.
Sam knows how to play Elsyan either.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually, no, for the sake of this, I will say that no, you haven't reached your full end of your rest until the end of this.
Okay.
Just because that way you do have 2 for the next day, and Elsyan restores his psi points. So, he is going to use 2 psi points and his action to cast Psionic Blast. How does this work? Choose one creature you can see within 60 feet. He has to roll for the attack against the thing's AC, which is a hit. Okay, so he does 2d8 psychic damage, which I will roll with me. Actually, no, I'll roll it on here, just because it is player damage. 2d8 psychic damage, he does 10 points of damage to the Spooter.
No. Spooderman, Spooderman. I'm
Yes.
I feel bad already.
Yeah. And you see Elsyan kind of like pushes out his hand into kind of like a claw motion, and brings it close to a fist, and you see the spider recoil and take a few steps back as this hits it, but then proceeds to keep moving forward and loom over Kimia. The spider, at the same time as this, is going to... Actually, no. At the end of Elsyan's turn, he's going to use his bonus action to try and wake up Bhold. Yep,
Whoa.
Bhold, you are currently awake and you are active in the initiative order.
Nice that.
Okay, so moving on to the giant spider's turn. The giant spider is going to attack Kimia, pulling out what looks to be some form of a stinger. Okay. You see a stinger appears out at the bottom of his abdomen, and it stabs it straight into Kimia's chest. She is going to do a Constitution save. Okay. And you watch as she gets woken up, and you see as she immediately grabs her chest as the spider backs off a bit as she's woken up by this. And you see that Kimia has taken...
Damn it.
Yes, she has. She has taken 8 points of piercing damage as she gets stabbed in the chest with this stinger.
Ooh.
And
Luckily there's a lot of bone there.
Yes, and she grabs it, and you see that she looks as in she's in quite a lot of pain from such an attack. The spider is then going to back off. 1, 2, 5, 6, and disappears into the forest. Give me a perception.
I am not okay with it.
Give me a perception check, Harlan, as you're the current one who can see this all happening. Okay, you can see that it's just backed off into the forest, and you can still see its eyes within the forest.
Okay, so I have got a lock on it, right?
Yes, you still have got a lock on it, yeah. Okay. Next in the initiative order is Kimia, who is going to get to her feet and crawl over here, or as best she can, dragging herself, and then she's going to put her hand on her chest and cast Cure Wounds at first level, which I believe is a 1d6. Yep. She heals 2 points of her damage that she's taken, plus her modifier, which is 2, so that is 4 health.
Completely out of character. Oh, we're halfway there. Whoa! Healing with a prayer.
Yep.
Well done, Harlan.
Well done.
Look, I hardly ever get to be a bard anymore.
Yeah, well, you could have
I
chosen
wanted
to be a
one
bard.
shot.
Anyway.
Yeah, but you know.
Alright. Okay, next in the initiative is Sudz. Malcom. So you have a move, you have an action, and you have a bonus action.
I would like to move near Kimiar and use Cure Wounds on her.
Okay. How much does that heal?
It heals 1d8 plus attack plus spell attack.
Okay. Give me a d8 roll. Move over. Place your shoulder on, or you place your hand on her shoulder, pumping Cure Wounds into her, and she's healed back to full. You have a bonus action, and you can use the remainder of your movement, which is 15 feet.
I think I'll try to move back to where I was.
Move back to where you were.
And...
Sasha, be prepared. You will be after the next individuals.
I believe I am prepared.
I'm not sure what else I can do.
Wait, make a loud noise to make sure everyone is awake.
That can be done with a bonus action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, that's fine. He's learning, so...
I'd like to use Thaumaturgy to, make sure everybody else is up.
Okay. So you make Thaumaturgy, making quite a bit of noise. I'm going to say for the purpose of this, everybody else is up in initiative. So that would just be you, Queglod, who was sound asleep until this all took place.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'll wake up and I'll have Felipe immediately flutter onto my staff.
Okay.
I guess he was already there.
Yeah. Felipe will just do that. So, at the end of your turn, into the next initiative order, you watch as some more smaller spiders start crawling their way out of the forest nearby.
Okay.
Currently nearby to everybody. And
Is it my turn yet?
yep, it's now your turn.
Okay, so I feel like if we kill the big spider, the little spiders will be a bit So I'm gonna shoot a guiding bolt at the big spider.
What's the range on that?
120.
Yep, you're within range. Just.
Mm-hmm. I make a ranged spell attack against the target.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, you're within range.
Mm-hmm. So I
Yep. Range spell attack.
No.
Nope, that does not hit. The guiding bolt shoots past. Does it have a miss thing, or is that it?
Let me double check. No.
Okay.
But there's a mystical dim light that appears wherever it hit. So
yeah. On the tree behind it, you can see that there's a mystical dim light that silhouettes the spider.
That's something at least.
Everyone else can see it a bit better now.
What can I do with a bonus action?
Oh.
I'm assuming I can't attack anything.
Unless you've got a light weapon. Actually, no, you've cast a spell, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. I'm going to ready my shield and turn to face the small spider that's next to me.
Okay. You're now facing towards that
I'm
spider.
sort of like preparing to defend myself.
Yep. Behold. Your turn.
Right. Can I see the big spider? somehow?
Yes, you can. And Queglod, you follow after this to be prepared.
Right.
Okay. So what I was planning to do was run up and throw my axe at it and try and pull it back.
The range on your axe with the chain is 30 feet, was it?
2060, or I don't know.
2060. So you can throw it 60, but I believe the reach of your chain was 30. So at 30 feet, you can pull it back. Anything beyond that, and you can't pull back your axe.
Well, it's...
So 36, I guess.
6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you could go up to hit. That would be where you could hit if you tried that way.
Yeah, so I can't reach it. Never mind. I guess I'll just go here and start mashing.
Yeah.
All right, give me an attack roll. That hits. What's your damage?
D12. That was a split.
Yeah, that's fine. It was the same number anyway, so it doesn't matter. Give me a roll for your d12 damage, plus whatever you're adding onto it, which is your strength modifier.
Yep, which is 4.
4 plus 5, that's 9 damage. You swing over with your axe and absolutely obliterate the spider, just slicing straight through the top portion of its body down, cutting off a few legs in the process. As you pull your axe back up, the spider is there on the ground, just dead.
Nice. I still have 3 movements, right?
Yes. Actually, no, you have 5, because you only used 1 to move
Oh
up.
yeah, that's true. Can I try dash at this guy?
Dash would use your action, which you've just used
But
for
I mean,
attacking.
like, there's like run into him. Oh, like with my shoulder.
Yeah, sure. It won't do any damage, but you can try grapple. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Give me a grapple check. I have to roll against that. These things strength. Nat 20. As you charge into the small spiderling, you're slightly larger than it when it comes to like general height, just because it's closer to the ground. But as you go to grapple it, it wraps around you, and you are now grappled by it, so you can't move.
Damn.
And it's currently got you into a hold.
Fuck.
Queglod, your turn.
Right. Can I see the big spider?
You can from where you are,
Okay.
because Felipe is sat on your staff.
Yeah, let me just check. Arms of die.
If Felipe dies, I believe you have to recall him back.
Hmm. Yeah. Right, I'll save my spells for now until there's more targets. At the moment, I'm just going to cast Eldritch Blast on the big spider.
Okay. Does that an attack roll?
Yes.
Okay, give me a roll. Okay, that hits.
Plus 5, yeah.
That hits. Yeah, so roll, what's your damage?
It should be 1d10 force damage. Yeah, 1d10 force damage.
Give me a roll.
Level 1.
Give you a d10 up there.
Which one's the d10?
This one.
Ah.
Seven damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you...
Cool. Yeah.
you-
So my Eldritch Blast is like little, like needle type. Not objects, but shaped blasts
Yeah.
of energy. Almost like little talons.
Yeah.
People.
Do you... you bring your hand round in a similar sort of circle, and pushing forward with the core of Felipe behind you, a singular needle shape pointed line just of the Eldritch Blast flies towards the spider, hitting it in its right next to where its jaw is. You watch as one of its fangs or mandibles flies off and hits the ground nearby, and it screeches out to the surrounding area. That takes us to...
Yeah.
That takes us to... is it your turn?
Can
Or?
Felipe act on my turn?
Yes, I believe he... Because he's a basic raven, he can strike... Just need to check. I think I got the
Yeah,
stats
he
here.
has a beak attack.
Yeah.
Plus 4 to hit, and does 1 piercing damage.
You want to do that?
Yep. So he has his own movement as well. So I'm gonna have him move onto the spider that's grappling Bhold.
Okay.
He's just gonna perch on its head and try and poke its eyes out.
Try and poke its eyes out. Okay. Give me an attack roll.
It's plus 4, I believe.
This is
How
intimidating.
many eyes do spiders have again?
Well, these ones in particular have 8. The smaller ones have 6, the larger ones have 8. So that hits for Felipe, and you watch as Felipe flies over, and behold, you just watch this gruesome display as Felipe just goes peck, 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 peck over and over again in this thing's eyes. The spider lets go, and just like walks back a bit, and Felipe just flies back to Queglod as the spider is now blinded.
Anyone else reminded of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? Randomly.
Yes.
Mm.
And the spider walks back, it is now blinded, and it is currently bleeding.
Ravens
heavily.
are the best phoenixes.
So, moving on to next turn.
Oh no.
1, 2, 4. It's going to try and sting Sam from behind. What's Sam's AC? I think that will hit. Yep, that hits. And that does 6 points of damage. Sam. And Sam now has to make a Constitution save. Alright. Sam succeeds. And grasping and just shrugging off the spider that is now behind him where it stung him, and swiveling around, Elsyan goes, "I need help, guys!" And then that takes that to his turn, where he is going to try and stab it in the face with his spear. And that's a 1.
Oh no.
He goes to try and stab at the spider, and the spider just grabs his spear and flings it behind him, or behind it. Sam's spear is now somewhere over in this general vicinity. Just over here. And he's currently unarmed. And yeah, Elsyan can't do anything else. This spider, I'd like everybody who's currently got their eyes trained on it to do a perception check. So that would include Malcom, Queglod, and Sasha.
That is
Okay.
17 from me.
Yeah, Malcom, you're the only one who... Actually, no, I need to roll for its stealth. Okay. Okay. Queglod, you're the only one who sees this. The spider curves around this way. You lose sight of it, Sasha, and Malcom, you have no idea where it is.
Damn it. You must have only just been... Wait, actually, no, I forget what Queglod's perception.
My perception is pretty high at the moment. It's like,
Yeah.
we've been a total of like 22.
Yeah, which...
My perception isn't great, but I've got Felipe.
Ah, right.
Yeah, which gives him a bonus due to his charisma, which is a +3, so it's a pretty big bonus.
Okay.
Anyway, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is Kimiar's turn. Kimiar's going to stand up, notch an arrow in her bow, shift over here, and going to fire upon... it's going to fire upon this spiderling. Fires the arrow, it whizzes into the ground next to where the spider is, and the spider is now trained on her. She's now going to... She's going to Hunter's Mark, the big one. So now she can tell where it is at all times, and she's going to move back over here. Actually, no, she wouldn't do that because she thinks the spider's still over there, so she'd get back to the middle of the group. Malcom, it's your turn. And Sasha, you'll be up after the spiders.
Right.
Is it possible for me to be able to use Entangle to get the spear back that's over here?
What does Entangle do exactly? See if I can find it real quick in the player's handbook.
Entangle creates weeds and vines ground. 20 foot.
Plants turn the ground into an area into difficult terrain. Creatures in the area, when you cast the spell, must succeed a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling plants until the spell ends. A creature restrained by plants can use its action to make a strength check against the spell's DC. On a success, it's freed. When the spell ends, the conjuration plants wilt away. Yeah, you can... I'll say yeah, you can do that creatively and use the entangle to slide the spear back to Elsyan. He'll still have to pick it up, but it's still something you can do.
Yeah, that's what I want to try and do.
Okay. So you create it in the area.
Does it cover a big area, though?
It covers a 20-foot square, so it covers a 4x4.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm now going to roll for the spider's strength save. It failed. It is now considered restrained, which means everybody has advantage when attacking it. And...
Will I have to roll if I run in there too?
Huh?
Will I have to do a strength check if I run in there?
No. It just classes as difficult terrain, which means that it takes, instead of taking 5 feet, it takes 10 feet.
Ah, okay.
That's all it requires. I'm going to quickly check at what the exact definition of restrained is. Restrained. A restrained creature's speed becomes 0 and it cannot benefit from any bonus of its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Okay. Alright, did you want to do anything else, Malcom?
I'd like to move closer to it and use poison spray on the spider.
Okay. Don't forget to use up one of your spell slots.
Yeah.
So that's the left number, which is your current number. And over this night, you'll be able to switch out any of your spells as well if you
Hold
want
on,
to.
is that poison spray that you're using?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was entangle that used the
Oh, yeah.
spell slot.
entangle.
Yeah, poison spray.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, poison spray is a
Poison-
cantrip.
cantrip.
Yeah. I have too many things open. I need to close stuff. Let's close this. Okay. Alright. So. Back into the initiative order, unless you wanted to move, Malcom?
I was gonna move closer to it.
How close did you want to move?
I was gonna move to that square right there.
Okay.
But
Oh no, that's wrong person. There you go. Okay. So now it is the spiderling's turn. This spiderling is going to move up and attempt to attack you with disadvantage because you have your shield out.
I thought it was trained on Kimia.
You're right, yes it was. So he's going to move past and try and attack Kimia, which means I'll just take that as my first roll, which misses against her AC. So it tries to nip at Kimia's feet, failing to do so. And this one is going to go... this one's blinded, so I'm going to roll for its random direction in which way it goes. Let's roll a d8.
Roll a scatter die.
Gotta die.
One. It will go this way. It's going this way and it's going to attempt to bite. Okay.
Aww.
It bites a near. It bites.
Spider wasn't working out, so it's going to be a beaver now.
Yeah. It bites at the nearby tree, and you kind of hear this weird sound of it, like a sad kind of chittering as it's kind of like biting into the tree. Sasha, it's now your turn. Behold, you're next.
Right.
Well, I don't suppose I could use my bonus action to try and locate the
Go ahead.
the spider that got away.
Yep, try and perceive. This will be against its previous stuff check.
Well, this will go well, won't it?
Yep.
It's an 18.
That... No, that does not succeed.
Well, I tried.
I just had to remember what it was, and I think it's, yeah, you're
Well,
just off.
seeing that there is a very big spider right there, I'm going to Sacred Flame it. Yeah. This shouldn't affect the stuff underneath it. This should just hit it because it's divine fire.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly check what the, like, how an opportunity attack would work against you because you're casting a spell within range of something. Casting a spell.
I forgot opportunity attacks were a thing, so maybe
Most spells do not have a casting time of one action. See chapter 10 for spellcasting. Great. Keep going.
If I recall correctly, there's a specific feat that lets you make opportunity
Yeah, that's what I'm
against people who
thinking.
are casting range. So I don't think, unless these spiders have encountered lots of mages before.
No, it's making a
Which, I mean-
making a melee range spell has disadvantage, but yeah, otherwise you need the feat. Okay. Yeah. So what do I have to roll, or do you have to roll?
You have to roll against. You just have to. Yeah, probably. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that.
What save is
I
it?
realise now you probably have fantastic dexterity.
It has disadvantage because it's restrained.
True. 13. You got to beat a 13
Give me the 13. All right, let's see what I get.
on a dex
That is a
save.
4. It fails.
Lovely.
So how much damage is that?
That is 1d8.
What type of damage is it?
Radiant.
Okay, give me a roll.
Where there it is. Oh, where is that one?
Yeah. You don't roll a d20 for damage.
Oh, that would be great.
Alright, 1d8 damage. That's 8 damage. Nice.
And now there's a big burning sort of light source so everyone can see things.
Yep, so now everybody will be able to see this spider easily. Yep, so that's your action. You still have a movement and a bonus action. Moving will provoke a opportunity attack unless you remain within range.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna move here. And I don't know, is there anything I can do with a bonus action to mess with this thing?
Do you have anything that uses a bonus action?
I don't think so.
Is Sacred Flame a cantrip or a spell, by the way?
Oh, it's a cantrip.
Just making sure. Okay.
Does that
so
mean
yeah.
anything? Can I do it again? Or...
No, it's just making sure you're using your spell slots correctly.
Mhm.
Okay, and so now that moves on to Behold's turn. Queglod, you're next.
Alright. I run over there and I rage.
Alright, you are raging. Rawr.
Whoops.
Yeah, roll a d8 for your attack roll. You have advantage because it is currently restrained, so roll again.
What's his AC?
Well,
Oh.
either way, what did you get? You got a
Well, it's an
proficiency?
11.
It's an 11? Okay, that doesn't hit.
Oh,
You go to swing at it, but the vines get caught in the way as you try to bring your axe down upon it.
feels bad, man.
I can't remember. And raging takes your bonus action, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it allows you to attack on your bonus action next time, right? You read up on raging.
Yes.
Queglod, it's your turn.
Yep.
It's my turn.
Yep.
So this spiderling is getting uncomfortably close.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna, since I know where it is, I'm gonna sort of shift over here a bit.
Okay.
I'm fairly sure that the big one and the little one are kind of blocked off from me. I'm gonna fire another Eldritch Blast at this guy.
Okay. Give me an attack roll. This is versus AC. That hits.
Whoa!
And you do double damage because it's a spell. So it's 1d10, so it's 2d10 now.
Nice. Oh, spells do crit. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's just thing that I'm putting. That's a thing that I'm using just because I think it's more fair.
Fair enough.
If basic attacks can crit, so can spell. Your dice are here when you need them. That's 2d10 damage. That is 6 damage.
Nice.
Pretty good.
And on my minor action, I'm just going to yell. That first one is still over here.
Pointing at it?
Forget
Okay.
about it. Yeah, I'm going to yell at it and get Felipe to paw at it as well.
Okay. Felipe's going
The
to
first
claw at
one's
it.
still over here. Make sure you
Let
don't forget about
Felipe make an intimidation check.
Sure.
15. You see the spider, as Felipe starts to call at it, it starts to recoil. Almost like it doesn't want to be there anymore.
I guess maybe he saw his baby get blinded by it.
Spider's eyes out. What?
Next is... Oh, next is the giant spider 2, who is going to make a strength check for his action to try and break out. He fails. Yeah. There's a nat 1. Do 1d4 damage with your vines, Malcolm. That's 4 damage. Yeah, so you do 4 damage to the spider as it tries to escape, and that ends its turn. Moving back to the top of the round, we have Elsyan, who is going to use his bonus action to pick up his staff and disengage. Gonna move over here. Has anybody got any healing?
I do.
I do.
And that's going to end Elsyan's turn as he disengaged. Malcolm, you're after Kimia. Kimia is going to... Kimia's going to do a basic attack with disadvantage against this spider. That hits. So how much damage does that do? That'll be a bow attack, so that is 1d8 damage, plus her dex, which is 2. You watch as she just like pulls the string back and fires a shot straight through the head of the spiderling, pinning it to the ground. It screeches out, and you watch as it just limps and dies as its legs kind of curl in. Malcolm.
I would like to,
Sasha, you're after the spiders.
I know.
I'd like to poison spray the, spider right here.
The one right next to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need to roll for that, or do I need to roll a dex save or something?
I do. I need to roll 1d12.
No, I mean like it should say if it's on a failed saving throw or on a... Does it say on a failed saving throw?
No.
Okay, so this is poison spray, you said.
Yes.
Let me check for... Yeah, no poison sprays, they make a saving throw.
They make a saving throw.
Yeah, it's a saving
oh
throw,
yeah.
not an attack roll, I
Consume
think.
saving throw.
Okay.
Forces a Constitution
What?
saving throw.
Constitution saving throw, okay.
Yeah.
That is a fail. That was a 3 total. And... okay, so how much damage does it do?
1d12.
What type of damage?
I guess poison? Yeah, poison.
Yeah, poison.
Okay, I'm only going to remind you of this once. I'm going to remind you of this once. You have the flame sphere.
Yeah, doesn't that do...
That allows you
fire
to
damage?
change it to fire damage if you want to.
Yeah. I'd like to change it to fire damage.
Give me a roll. It's the only time I'm going to remind you, so remember it. Okay. You watch as Malcolm, who up to this point has done a tiny bit of damage with the vines, reaches out with his hand, placing it next to where the spider is. The spider tries to lash out, and he quickly does a wave type motion forward as this spray of poison comes out, which quickly ignites, and the spider kind of screeches out in pain and kind of recoils as the vines burn up on alongside it. It flips onto its back and its legs just curl in as you watch the spider is just dead and is currently the fire just disappears and it's just a smouldering corpse. Alright,
Yeah.
Spiderling's turn. Where does the Spiderling go today? Spiderling comes back this way. 1, 2, 3,
Yay!
4, 5. He is where the D4 would be.
Hero's return.
And he is going to try and bite at midair. Failing to do so, he successfully bites at the air, currently unaware of where things are. Wait. Yeah, not within range just yet.
And before we all die to this guy.
To the blind Spiderling.
We just all keep rolling one.
Oh
Remember,
god.
it's blind, but I've only actually done 1 damage to it.
Simon, do you remember that one dwarf that just refused to die?
Which campaign was that?
That was years ago with Matt. Never mind, just
Oh, well.
forget it.
Alright, next
Really? That does seem to be a
next
theme.
in the initiative, Sasha. Behold, you're next.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that's in plenty of range. To clarify, this spider, we know it's there because Simon said so, right?
Yes, and you'd be facing that way, so you
Yeah.
notice that.
And it made a noise when it... Felipe yelled at it, so I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's given away its stealth.
Right. In that case, yeah, that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get as close as I can, because I refuse to fucking miss. I'm gonna hit it with another guiding bolt.
Okay, does Guiding Bolt give you advantage on your next attack against it? I can't
Yes,
remember.
it does.
Okay,
Yes, it does.
so, give me a roll with advantage. Or is it me I make a roll? It's you who makes a roll, yeah.
I make a roll on this one.
Roll
Yes,
twice.
I've got a plus, yeah, I've got a... I'm trying to remember what my spell modifier is. I think it's a +3.
Could be higher than that, I would have thought. 19. I'm going to say it hits, but roll just in case it's a nat 20.
Okie doke.
I'm just gonna
Is that with
quickly
advantage?
Yeah, because he used Guiding Bolt on it last time. I'm going to quickly
Uh,
I thought
check.
it missed. Oh well.
Spell attack modifier 5.
Well, I got a 19, so...
Yeah, he got a 19 on the first roll, so regardless, he got it.
Okay, and that is
you did
46
miss, but
radiant
yeah.
damage.
Oh
That is 46 radiant damage, and
46?
yes, I know it's less effective than I was hoping. And the next
No,
attack roll made
46 is a lot.
So what
Oh.
the fuck? 4d6?
Oh yeah, I've got some powerful first level spells.
How?
I thought you said that was a cantrip.
No, that's Sacred Flame. This is Guiding Bolt. They're different spells. This is a spell that was a cantrip.
Oh, so you've already... Wait, so you already used Guiding Bolt on a previous one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should...
Yeah.
This is your last spell slot, okay.
Yeah, my last spell slot.
So you
Yeah.
have 2 at first level. Damn it.
Yeah, but you said we'd regenerate them, so I thought might
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, and he's right, it is 46.
Yeah.
On hit the
So,
target, next attack.
Give me them 46s.
Yep.
46, first level spell. God damn.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
I've got a worse one. I've got a 3d10 one, but I have to be in touch range. 12. Oh, and also everyone can see it, and also the next attack on it gains advantage.
It's not everyone can see it,
welcome.
it's the next attack roll made against the target before the end of your next turn has advantage, thanks to the mystical dim light glimmering to the target until then. So yeah, it's a dim light. Either way, how do you want to do it?
Oh, my idea is like, imagine a sort of like, I gather a load of light at the tip of my hand, and then as I'm pointing it to it, I just sort of like thrust forward. Out comes a big flash, then out streaks a bolt of light, straight into its face if possible.
Okay. You reach out your hand, and you like push it forward. There's a dim flash, and this ball of light just flies towards it, piercing the skull of the spider, and the spider just curls up and collapses to the ground. Behold,
Yes. Oh.
Give me an attack roll.
I'm-
With
I'm
advantage
mad
because it's
I put
blind.
that
Actually,
big
no.
One. Now I'm gonna fucking destroy it.
Not with advantage, but that still hits.
Yes.
Give me a roll.
15.
Give me a damage.
Chris, check the time.
I know. Yeah, this is the last thing. Yep. Alright.
16.
Spiders.
Fuck you.
Oh, I kind of wanted to keep it as a pet.
You, as you bring down your axe, slicing the spiderling clean in half, the blind spiderling. You hear many other footfalls just skitter away into the remainder of the forest, seemingly scared off whatever it was that was in the area. Combat is over. Well then, I guess that concludes our night.
Guess they thought we were more trouble than we were worth.
Hmm.
Well, first things first, I'm gonna go collect up bits of spider.
Yep. So everybody who's collecting bits, do a survival check.
I knocked
Ooh,
off
I'm good at
a
survival.
fang, so I'm gonna do that.
What's
Yeah,
my
first
survival?
time I hit it, I knocked
skewered
its
that
fang
one
off, time I
head in.
took it.
I'm calling it.
Right. I'm
Okay.
trading survival. I have 3.
You have 3.
And
okay.
I got 5.
Yeah.
You got a
Basically
plus
what
5.
we're
Okay,
doing
you got a
is-
22. You watch as
16. Oh, it's survival. That's a 19 then for me, I think.
yeah. So what did you get, Simon?
16 total.
So Behold looks down at his blind spider friend and goes to pull off a mandible, and just like the whole head just like snaps off. Oh, and it's not exactly what you wanted, and it's just you didn't manage to get anything valuable from it except maybe a spiderling head. You want to add that to your inventory? You're
Remember,
welcome
we
to.
want
Sure.
to prove that we need to prove that we killed spiders. So the more
Yeah,
bits we
that's
get,
true.
the better.
Queglod, you walk over and you start taking off some of the mandibles from some of the smaller spiderlings in the area and pocketing them, if that's what you wanted to try and go for.
Yeah, I'll grab some of those, put them in my...
Sasha, what were you trying to accomplish?
Well, I want to harvest the. I got a 19, and I want to try and harvest some of that silk. I also want to harvest some venom.
You managed to get one venom sac. The other venom sac is completely destroyed by the guiding bolt.
Yeah, I did shoot it with a big old ball
And
of light. That
the-
seems fair.
And the silk that in its abdomen is in like a liquid state. And
Mhm.
doesn't seem to be kind of ready-made or anything, just like this big lump of stuff as you carve into it to pull it open.
Can I put some of it in a jar?
Do you have a jar on hand?
I will definitely have some sort of container, considering I plan to make alcohol.
Yeah, so you have like a regular-sized jam jar, so I'd say you have about a pound of silk. Or, no,
Fair.
silk's quite light, so you have about a quarter of a pound of silk.
Okay, that's cool.
And what were
Oh.
you hoping for, Malcolm?
I just wanted to take something off of the spider that I burned to death.
The spider that you burned to death, you start pulling back the basic layers, and you see that it's mainly the exterior that killed it, so the outside of it seems to mostly just be burnt off and charred. But as you peel back the layers, you find that most of its interior organs are in perfect condition. You managed to harvest two venom sacs. The mandibles are completely destroyed. You managed to find a small amount of spider silk if you have something to contain it within. You can harvest the spider's heart if you wish, and 2 unlaid spider eggs.
Ooh. I'll definitely be taking the spider eggs.
Yeah.
And I do not have anything to contain the silk in.
So you have 2 spider eggs and 2 perfect condition venom sacs.
Yes.
Okay. And Kimia turns to the rest of you and says, well, we'll take a quick short rest and then we'll move on, I'd say. I mean, lights should be coming along soon enough. It's about 10 past 4 in the morning at this point. And we'll call it there for now. You've collected up your things. You've defeated the night raid of spiders. You take your short rest, so heal back up to full hit points due to the effect of the long rest. Anything which you needed to be recharged gets recharged now. And yeah. Should be
Quick
everything.
thing, guys, someone make a note someone else make a note that was 5.
Five
Five
spiders.
spiders killed. 2 big spiders, 3 spiderlings.
And Infernal levels up, Grandpa.
And that will be that. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.